Ruth too.
Good.
Yeah, we should have.
Hey,
I mean, we should
what, do they have a Facebook group, Bass and Truth?
have. Yeah, they have like a channel.
If you can reach out to them, Josh, just send them a message and let them know we're live now because we are live. Let them know because I've sent it to the groups that I'm part of. Y'all and DA Roberts just
Can't do
messaged
that
me. I think DA is live now,
unless I go away.
but he said he'll be in the chat.
Did
Okay.
you send one to Nick? You could send one to Nick V.
Uh-oh, let me turn this audio down. Yes, okay, so I'm getting ready to send these out, y'all. Thank you everybody. Thank y'all all for who's in the chat right now, who joined us tonight. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk about the conference. We're gonna talk about like how great the conference was and like all the speakers. I mean, they did an amazing, outstanding job. Josh did a great job, like just putting this whole conference together, bringing all the speakers that he brought in on this because usually what y'all don't understand, like you have cryptid conferences where there's a Dogman or a Bigfoot conference that's put out. There's usually maybe at the most three, four, five speakers, but Josh brought together like a whole team of, I think when I counted all the panelists and the speakers together, it was like 15 people that were a part of this conference. Like 15 people. And then not only that, it was big name or, I call them like top line researchers, investigators, podcasters all together on one huge conference. And what I wanted to address, like I know that Josh had brought up a few things. Um, Josh has been attacked, and I have dealt with it for the past couple of months, like myself personally, on multiple occasions, being attacked when it comes to the cryptid community, whether other podcasters or other admins and mods of other groups, and it gets to a point where people like to, a lot of times say, well, it's not a big deal. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Don't let the haters affect you. Don't let the haters keep you down. But it's easy to say that, but people have to understand too, like at the end of the day, we're still human beings. We still have feelings. We still have emotions. We still, it's not true when they say words don't hurt. Words do hurt. And especially when you have people constantly attacking you on a regular basis. And so I have several different things that I wanted to address tonight, and I'm going to have Josh in on it too. And I just want to bring things up, and I have Barton on the line with us also. I'm not sure if DA, if he gets off his live in time, maybe he'll be able to be there, but he said that he's gonna be in the chat. So, but Josh, did you want to start off saying anything before I kind of go into like some of the stuff that I wanted to address?
Yeah, I can say something here. What I did this conference, and there were already detractors and haters that were constantly gnawing at me before and after. I mean, before the conference, and some people started drama. Somebody sent a message to Brian Bowden, and Brian got very upset. And I've been friends with Brian for a long time, and I know you've known Brian for years. I mean, we both
Mm-hmm.
have, and I've never had a problem with Brian. But it was about Nick Valenti's presentation. Him and D.A. Roberts were on the stage together, and Jody Cook had tried to spell it, and said that's not true. That's not what happened when Brian had made that post. And what I tried to explain to Brian was like, I understand it's between you and Nick, but you're using the conference kind of as the platform to argue and fight with this guy, which I'm not mad at Brian, but it opened the door for a lot of trolling and a lot of hate, and that was already happening. I had come home from the conference and my ferret had died, and
Mm-hmm.
it was our little ferret Snowy, and I watched my nephew, my godson, and my wife crying, and so I made a post saying I come home and my ferrets died, to get prayers, whatever support, and immediately the trolls came out of the woodwork saying the most horrible, ridiculous things you could think of, talking about, oh, your conference was a big flop, and that would be dude from Texas, talking about, don't be mad at me because your conference was a flop, and started talking trash and Brian's thread, and him and Abe, uh, person, I'm not gonna say his last name, but that dude, that was just on one thread, and then
Mm-hmm.
your group. Nobody in my group that I know of, but in your group, and then there was a few other groups that I saw people saying things. One particular person in one of the groups said, "Oh, I'm glad your ferret died," and somebody had said something, years the year before when my mother had passed, the same thing happened because a particular podcaster, his name starts with a V, decided that he was going to say something on the day my mother died, which launched a whole series of attacks on me that went on and on and on. And I wasn't even able to process the grief or do anything because these people were constantly attacking me.
Right.
And it broke me down eventually. You're tough, you're strong, but like you said, you have feelings. And to hear people say the things about, my mother's death was just, it was just over the top. And he knew what he did. He sparked that by saying what he did. And then he's never apologized. He's never gone back on it. In fact, he doubled down when I called him out on what he had said to the Hendersons about their mother, going to die of cancer because, they interviewed Roger, which is what he did. He made a post saying, "Oh, who would ever say something like that?" I'm like, you did, VC, I guess we'll call him, Voldemort. And he's been a person in this field that has fought with like every human being in this that has any show or authors, podcasters. He's been a person that's been a problem for a long time. And when I was working with him, there was a list as long as a Texas tall tale of people he didn't want me to work with. That list included Jody Cook, Linda Gottfried, Dark Waters, Lon Strickler, Butch Witkowski. Paul Sinclair had a problem with him. There's some other people who don't want me naming their names because they don't want to be drug into this never-ending war, and I understand that. But some of the things that he did to these people was just despicable behavior. And I do believe that he harassed, and Barton can attest to this because me, him, and Johnny Henderson were on the phone with Roger. And Roger was giving us descriptions of the vehicles and the people that had harassed him, and it matched up to what we were told by Linda and Dark and other people who had this problem with this individual. And so we do believe that he was behind that. But it goes far deeper than that because this person has an army, a literal army of people, just nonstop keyboard warriors that worship this dude and believe that he's this really nice, humble guy because he puts on this fake persona like he's wearing a suit. And I can tell you right now, that's not who he is because I've had lots of conversations with this guy and I worked with him for 6 years. And what amazes me is that people think they know him better than I do. Nobody in the field has worked with him for 6 years. Now, this goofball up there in Killeen, he made these comments about, oh, well, yeah, you're mad because Armando, talking about the late Armando Salazar, my co-host, who died shortly after Johnny Henderson. They both died of COVID at the same time. He brings in a dead man, my friend, who I knew way better than he did, okay, and, starts talking about how I was mad because he had taken him to Vic Cundiff or he had taken him to Vic Cundiff or something like that. And I was like, that happened before I ever even was on Vic's show. And so looking back, and I did some looking into it, I think Armando did correspond with him at Elms Grove. Now, the thing is, I've never been to Elms Grove. Neither has my wife. Honey, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I've never been there.
Never. Did you go to Elms Grove and faint because you're a clairvoyant?
No.
Speak up a little bit.
Can you hear me right now?
Can y'all hear Nelly?
I can hear her perfectly fine. Can y'all in the chat? Can y'all hear Nelly really good?
Can you hear Nelly?
Y'all leave a comment and let us know. I can hear her perfectly fine. Y'all let us know if you can hear Nelly or not.
Yeah,
they said yes.
Okay. So we never went to Elms Grove. That never happened. He's claiming that it did. He's claiming that I launched an attack on him and his son. I don't even know he had a son. I didn't know the dude had bred. I don't know this guy, And so he had a son who I have nothing personally against his son. I thought I was done with this dude when I blocked him. I blocked him a long time ago. and he created an alternate account, and then I blocked that one. He created another one, and same thing with the dude from Texas. But these are just two of like a multitude of people who have just gone on and on and on with this never-ending cycle of crap. And it's just like they are just part of the problem, not the source. And I think that we need to look at the source of where it comes from, and that is this particular individual. My problems and just about every troll that I have that I've been battling for years come from two people. Two people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one, his name rhymes with virus, and the other one whose name rhymes with dick. Those two people have spawned pretty much all of the trolls that I've had to face. If you took them two people out of the equation, the field, and threw them out of there, there would probably be peace. But there's not, as long as they're in there doing what they do, because that's how they thrive on that. I know one of them is a devout communist, and in my belief, the other one, I believe, does dark things. So these are the people that are in this field that people are following. And when I try to say something about the truth, people just go nuts. They go absolutely bananas, cuckoo bananas on me, because I'm telling them the truth about these people. And there's always these people like, well, he's never done nothing to me. Yeah, because you haven't dealt with him yet. Talk to the 11 plus people that 11 of the names, you know, not counting the people who, when the war kicked off between me and him, you know, and Dark Waters got involved, and we were all having this scrape with him. You know, he had all these people just going nuts on us. There were people coming forward, and one in particular told me and Ryan that she drank like got drunk, and then got up there and babbled a bunch of stuff, like, you know, basically saying that she made up a bunch of crap. And, you know, she told him she had about a 5-minute story.
Who did they say that about, Josh?
They're talking about VC. When he had an individual, she told me and a couple of people from my team, and I believe Ryan was one of the people she said it to. I think we lost Barton.
He said he had the grandkids. If he comes back, then I'll let him back in.
Okay. So basically, she said that she had a 5-minute story and he had her stretch it out into an hour, so she got hammered and did. So it was basically make-believe. And then there was another person who I went to him and said that that the story was messed up, that, you know, this person and he didn't care. He's like, oh, there's 160,000 views, whatever. So it's a person that doesn't really care or give a crap about anybody or anything. And he, you know, even wanted me to pay for a t-shirt from the research and work that I did with the Hernandez Ranch. Like, he basically was not appreciative of anything I did, and then even refused to promote me or give me any kind of credit unless I would continue to come on his show. Well, after you realize that the person that you're dealing with has no credibility because they're not honest, no integrity, well, you're not going to work with them. And once I made that decision to not work with them, then I became the bad guy to a whole bunch of people who loved this dude. And it was like somebody flipped a switch, and overnight everybody was against me because I had spoken out and said I wasn't going to work with this guy anymore. People kept badgering me on my live chat, when are you going to work with this guy again? Well, the answer was an emphatic no. I'm not ever going to work with this guy again. There's no when. It's just not going to happen, period. Never. And so he made that. He waited until I made the post about my mother dying, which was for family and friends. And he saw it, and he launched his attack because he was hoping to maneuver me into making a mistake. But I stuck by my guns, you know, all this time, and I've endured this for a long time. And the hate never stops. Well, at some point, it wears you down to where you can't run a business. And at that time, last summer, I was coaching too. So you're coaching, you're running a business. And you can't be in the gym trying to coach and box and do stuff, and then also run a business and then do this podcasting and interviewing people and researching and doing all the things I had to do, on top of having had lost your mom, and then you have to fight these trolls. And it's real easy for people to sit back and go, just ignore the haters, man. Just ignore them, you know. And it's like, dude, no. when you're getting threatened and your family's being threatened, and they're like, I know where you live, and they know your address, and they know your phone number, and they know all these things about you, and you're having to walk around, to protect yourself, looking around, going like, these people are lunatics. The guy that did it with the Ben Peveler incident that I had to get on the police with, these are people who just are unhinged. And so it's real easy for people to sit back and just tell you to ignore it and just don't worry about it and just screw them, just go on, because it's not happening to them. They're not being gang stalked by these people, and that's the problem. They have no clue of what I go through on a daily basis. It's like and then people will sit there and try to tell you, well, I'm not going to listen to you because you're all about drama. Like, dude, I didn't start this drama. These people brought it to me. And so these two jerks that started this last round, I know that David, I've gotten him recorded basically saying a bunch of mean, nasty things about people that he, like Marvin, he's supposedly friends with. And I told him, like, he knew. It wasn't like he didn't know. Like, he just, I guess, didn't think or whatever. I said, it's running through the speaker of my truck, and so he knew. And he still went on a rant about Marvin, which at that time, me and Marvin were beefing. But like I said, it was because of VC. And you were the one that brokered the peace between us, which still stands to this day. Me and Marvin are still tight. I have no problem with Marvin.
I knew understanding, but I wanted to touch on a couple of points, and I'm going to get Barton in on this in a minute, and he'll have to unmute his mic because I couldn't unmute it for him. But when it comes down to it, like, people don't understand, like, we always talk about, well, let me say this first, because I like to do a disclaimer. Some of the people that Josh has beef with, I don't necessarily have beef with. Like, whoever I have on my shows, like, I can, respect and support each person individually. I'm kind of coming from the place of a investigative journalist, and so I'm really kind of not involved on the level as deep as Josh and maybe some of the other guys that are in this. So I don't interact with too many people in the crypto community. I keep my circle tight. I keep it small. Whoever I deal with as a friend that I have, frequent interactions with or periodic interactions with, Josh, Barton, Nick Valente, D.A. Roberts, people like that I actually deal with in the crypto community. So not all, but some. Now, what I will say is that when it comes to what I've seen with Josh, as I've become a podcaster and running my own group and stuff like that, people look at Josh and they look, well, he's always talking shit on the shows and he's always, complaining or talking about somebody. But here's what I've learned for myself personally, being a podcaster now in the crypto community and having my own group. What I've seen, I've heard somebody tell me years ago this in the crypto community. He said the crypto community is cutthroat. And I didn't get it at that time because I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't in it like that. I hadn't gotten to the numbers that I'm at now. But what I noticed is that there's a lot of jealousy in the crypto community. There's a lot of egos. There's a lot of competition. And I always said I was going to be one of those people who was not going to get involved with that because I just want to give eyewitnesses their opportunity to come on and share their encounters and stories or experiences and do a show in a group and not involve myself in any of that kind of stuff. But now on a deeper level, I understand it because I have personally been attacked and I know what goes down behind the scenes. And so now I can see it I can see it from Josh's standpoint too, because like I used to wonder why Josh always spouting off talking about somebody like all the time. But I understand now because what I understand now is because you guys that's out there as viewers, subscribers, fans, and members of groups and stuff like that, what you guys see is just us going live and talking about some shit that we want to discuss or we want to bring to the light. You don't understand like that there's actually been attacks behind the scenes. You don't understand that there's group chats where people have actually gone in and they will talk crap about a person in this group chat, and then they'll go back behind the scenes and then come in. Your people are really fake. There's a lot of fake people out there. The same person that I am in real life, I look at real life the same way I do as I am in the crypto community. Like, I feel like this, if I don't deal with you in real life, like we don't get along, like in my real life, going to work every day, just regular. If I don't talk about you, if I don't deal with you, then that's just what it is. I don't deal with you. I don't go behind your back and slander you and talk about you. We just don't fool with each other. That's it. But in the cryptid community, there's a lot of people that talk crap about you behind your back and will believe. People are so quick in the cryptid community to believe everything that somebody says about somebody else, to the point where they will take that and believe it and run with it and go share that same information with everybody else. Now you've become a cancer to the cryptid community. You've become a cancer because now you're spreading something that you don't even know if it's true. And like I said before, when I look at something like when it comes to real life, and I'm going to address the conference in a minute, so y'all hold on, don't y'all stick tight. If somebody tells you anything about somebody, like Josh already knows this about me, Barton does too. If somebody says Josh said this, or anybody, it doesn't have to be Josh. Just this is just an example. I'm not just going to take their word for it. I'm going to be like, Josh, such and such said that you had about me. People in the crypto community are so fake and so two-faced to the point where they will smile in your face, talk about you behind your back, or they will talk shit about you behind the scenes and not come to you personally. When Josh reached out to me, and Josh had originally, and this is just an example because we bringing everything under the table just to let y'all understand how deep stuff, how raw and uncut stuff get behind the scenes. When that whole situation was going on for several months between Josh and Marvin, at that time I was friends with Marvin and I was a supporter. I was an admin of his group, moderator for his channel. So I'm coming in to like defend him because he's a smaller guy. But Josh also felt some type of way because he felt like I was talking about him because of some things that he mentioned. David from Texas tonight, and I don't usually like to call names because I don't like to get no drama or no beef started. But David from Texas, I don't, like I said, I don't like to do name calling. I don't like to do roll call. But I said tonight was gonna be roll call, or originally I was gonna title this video "You Gonna Learn Today," because you're gonna learn today. Because at the end of the day, Josh has had problems and issues with David from Texas for a while, talking crap, telling lies behind the scenes, making up stuff, slandering, all that. And then when I cross reference and check things with Josh, then okay, it's like, well, Josh was like, well, I didn't say that. Or Josh has told me things that's been said about me, and it's very slanderous. And I've seen this a lot, and I've had to deal with this guy for about a year. And I think Josh, it's probably been about a year and a half that Josh has too. And when it comes down to it, a lot of negative slander, a lot of hurtful, um, it's character defamation, is what it is. Because it's been put out there that I'm a witch, I practice witchcraft and black magic. I'm a Christian. I'm not a perfect Christian. I mean, I've sinned and fallen short of God's glory and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not even going to sit up here and act like I'm perfect because I'm not. But what I have to say about it is that I do not practice witchcraft. I do not dabble in the occult. I don't even do palm readings, horoscopes, or none of that stuff. But my thing is that when people hear one person say something, I always like to say this: people, please, we grown. Have common sense. Don't believe everything that somebody tells you just because they tell you that. Now, I'm addressing some of this now, and I brought Josh on here because I was one of the people that was a speaker, or not a speaker, but a panelist in Josh's conference. And basically, Josh has brought up to you like about what happened with the post that Brian Bolton had put out. And like I said, like I'm friends with Brian Bolton. We chat periodically here and there, and I share stuff with him, like when I go live and stuff like that. But I try not to get involved in other people's beef because some stuff can be sometimes petty. Some people can have beef with somebody and it's personal. It's got nothing to do with me. Leave me out of it. Don't even bring up my name in that. Don't tag me in it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. And I don't want, because I'm the type of person like, if you tag me in some stuff and you are in the middle of some mess, then I'm going to reach out to that other party and say, hey, they tagged me in it, but I ain't got nothing to do with it because I don't want nothing to do with it. Josh was there for me, I'm gonna say back in June this year when I had like a mental breakdown to the point I thought like I was about to have a nervous breakdown. Josh and Nelly called me to reach out. Y'all don't understand that words do hurt. Some of the stuff that's been said is like so slanderous. Josh and his family, Nelly, all of them, they've had to deal with people trying to put witchcraft on them. It's been a lot of stuff y'all just don't understand. And we're doing this all at the expense for your entertainment. For your entertainment. Nobody has to do this for you. And even if you want to say, well, Josh is just, because I don't even, look, I'm at some point, maybe I'll go that route and I probably will. I'll probably consult with Josh about it. But if you say, well, he's just doing it for the money, so you don't think Josh deserves to get paid for this? Josh puts in several hours on his live shows. And I get angry and I get pissed because I'm trying to, like, I'm not just talking to the podcasters, I'm also talking to the fans. Because you got fans of this group or that group or this channel or that channel. You pay for it when you watch it on TV. If somebody's spending 2 or 3 hours on a live stream to basically go out there and put information out there for you to entertain you, then if you don't like Josh's style, so be it. Don't talk shit about him. Just don't watch it. If I there's podcasters out there, I'm like, this is garbage. So I just scroll on. I'm not gonna watch it. But don't talk shit about him. He's still a human being. And I never would have gotten passionate about some stuff, but like really, Josh has just told y'all, like, me and him had beef originally. But then when I talked to Josh, I think Josh appreciated the fact that I was a real person and I came with him with the truth. And I just said, hey Josh, this is what it is. And if you ever hear that I said anything, just let me know. Now, not to divert off because I'm gonna let Josh get back in there and I'm gonna let Barton get in here too. But what I want to say is that people, like, when y'all are members and subscribers and fans, and a bunch of us, even myself still included, I'm a subscriber of Josh. I'm a subscriber of Vic. I'm a subscriber to like several different channels. But at the same time, I only interact with the ones who I actually know, the ones I actually talk to, interact with. That's it. Now, fans, subscribers, members, viewers, when it's personal beef going on, you guys also can ignite that fire as well and keep that going. Please, just when it comes to that kind of stuff, don't say, well, this person said this about Josh, so I'm going to unsubscribe from his channel, or I hate Josh. Don't do that. You don't even know what's going on behind the scenes. Understand that there's a lot of stuff that goes down. Josh, did you want to address real quick, and then we'll get that Barton. Barton, you'll have to unmute your mic after Josh gets through talking. But Josh,
I'm here, Betty.
okay. Did you want to say anything about some of the rumors that people were saying about the conference, and then we'll kind of go into that?
Yeah, I did, because there was a lot of nasty things that were being said, and it wasn't just from those two individuals. That they were the most vocal on that particular thread. Brian did clean it up, to his credit, and did get them, whatever, and the comments were removed. But damage done. I mean, these people said a bunch of crap, and I was so tired and so out of it. I had waited up that in the morning of Monday morning until Ken had gotten back to San Antonio so he could message me and tell me that he was okay, because he drove home and he was very, very tired. Look, me and Lyle and Ken and Nick Redfern and Daniel Jones, and of course my people, my wife and Anthony and Tony, we had to drive almost 15 hours. So, people act like that's, like, oh, we were just, whatever, like we just drove up there,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like they don't care. They didn't give a crap, and they made up all kinds of rumors about us. We took up our own time and energy. Everybody that went to the conference, this is really nobody's business, but everybody seems to want to make it their business. But everybody got paid. I paid
Yep.
everybody. And so I didn't make a profit. I'm about $4,800 in the hole for it, which it could have been worse. Could have been worse. I just finished paying the caterer tonight, and he's a good friend of mine, so he didn't gouge me or anything. And he made a little money, and that was good. That was the point. I wanted everybody to make money. Most of the vendors sold out. The only ones that didn't were the ones that brought a huge amount of stuff, like David Weatherly, of course, and I think Ken and Lyle. I think Lyle sold out, but I think Ken had like a couple books left. But Ken, bless his heart, he was running around doing all kinds of stuff. He didn't even have a chance really to sell his books, and so that's fine. And I took care of that on my end or whatever. And Ken was not asking for a bunch of money, but I made sure that I gave everybody, and I paid for everybody's gas, and I also paid for the hotel rooms. And at the end of the conference, there was about 50 people there left. All you guys abandoned me to go eat pizza.
Sorry, brother.
Now, hey, you know what? It's okay, because I stood back and I waited for Elijah, because it was Elijah's birthday. I get y'all didn't care about him, but I did. So anyway, I stayed back. And it was his birthday, and I hung out with his family, because Johnny Henderson was a great friend of mine in Barton's, and so was Elijah and Gabby.
Right.
And so I stayed behind, and he did his presentation. Nick Valente did his. Nothing bad was said about anybody. I don't know why these rumors got started, but anyway, the people that were left, I said, hey, you're still here. You're the last of the Mohicans. There's about 50 people there. I said, come to the table. And I began to give away free merchandise. This isn't something that needs to be advertised. It never even should have been brought up. But the fact that people took pictures and made an Instagram account and were saying, and I talked to Felton, the caterer, he saw it. You guys saw it. I mean, it was all the nasty things they were saying, that I was gouging people. Here's Josh Turner trying to make a last quick buck on everybody at the conference. That was not true. That was not, absolutely
totally not
true. And that's not what happened. I gave away anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 worth of merchandise. That's at my cost. If I would have, for the profit margin, would have been a lot more. So yeah, I could have made money because people were telling me, hey, I want to buy something. And I said, don't worry about it. And anybody that was there at the end can attest to that. I gave away. Yeah.
I know who it was, because you was up there at that table and I was getting ready to walk out because my feet was hurting. I was tired and it was going long at the end. And then, so I had walked back there and you were like telling your people, like, give them free sweatshirts. And he would, like, when I tell y'all this, Josh didn't pay me to say none of this stuff that I'm saying right now, none of the stuff that Barton's going to tell y'all in a minute. Josh is like, if you look at it, when it comes to Josh is a personality. And that's probably his personality in real life. You have friends and family like, oh, okay, that's just Josh. Or you have people like that. And I know that about Josh. Like, there's times Josh will reach out to me. And, like, Josh used to reach out to me back in the day. So, B, you're going live tonight? I go live on Friday nights. Or do I do much? I'm like, Josh, calm down, have several seats. But I can joke around with Josh like that because I know. But then at the same time,
I was just trying to coordinate it to where we could
both. No, I get it, but I'm just trying to show them an example. Like, I didn't take that no type of way. But people, like, in the cryptid community, when you have an issue with somebody, just reach out to them. Be a grown man, be a grown woman. Reach out to that person, discuss it. It can be over immediately without immediately going out there and talking shit. Josh is telling y'all the truth when it comes to this. And I'm sorry, like, I get amped up about it because I got involved. My name was brought up in this stuff too. And I'm like, wow, my name always got to be brought up in some stuff.
And then Brian said something about that. He said, if anybody says anything about Josh, Nelly, or Bettina, but they were already talking trash. I mean, it was like they were. Then let me tell you something about Bettina. Like, if you guys don't know, I mean, I know. And like she said, not all of her enemies are my enemies. We're not, she's got some people that she's had beef with that I'm not beefing with them, but it made me look at them a little differently because of some of the mean, nasty things that were done and said.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm up for hearing both sides of it, but there comes a point when it's like, dude, come on. There's people crossing the line here. They go too far. When somebody threatened my wife, which has happened now 2 or 3 times already, because she comes to try to defend me. Did I ask you to defend me, Nelly, ever?
No. Nope, I heard about it. Somebody messaged me, and I went and confronted him myself. Mm-hmm. And on the post where he said that somebody was attacking you, ABCS came on there and says, "Who's attacking?"
Yeah, he tried to play like it was.
And I said, "You." And then he deleted that comment.
Then he made a video telling my wife to go back into the kitchen. And literally his words were like, "She's a effing woman. She needs to shut up and go back in the kitchen." And so I was like.
That was said on the live?
That was said on his, you can go and look. Like, somebody posted the video in the Paranormal Roundtable group, and I don't know if we did. I don't know if we did or not, but it was, that was said. And I'm just like, dude, go play with your red crayons and circle imaginary bushes and trees. There's people like today, Cindy Fleming, she actually circled in a cemetery what was actually a full-bodied apparition. You could see it in broad daylight. And I was like, see, that's how you can actually see something there. There's people who do that, and it's actually, but this guy was doing it all the time. I never even called him out on it. I just ignored him, and I asked him to slow it down in my group, not do that. And that prompted him to pop off to me, last year, whatever it was, year before. He already had an attitude with me because he's a big Vic guy. And one of the comments he made was like, yeah, you're just mad because Armando brought me the Vic or something. And I was like, so me and Armando were friends with Vic before all that went down. And then he tried to say that I was a day reporter and that Armando was a night reporter or something crazy like that. I never worked for that guy. I worked with him, not for him. and he said that we were working for him, and that's how this whole thing happened at Elms Grove, which is a real place. I mean, it's supposedly haunted, but half of Clean's probably haunted because it's gross. But anyway, he said that Nelly went there and was like saying she was clairvoyant and she fainted.
Oh my gosh, that's so bizarre.
It was just so bizarre, the things he was saying. And we were like, dude, you're literally just bald-faced lying, saying things. And it's, and the thing is, it's not just him. I mean, there's like a whole bevy of these people, man. There's like a whole cabal.
The whole thing about the whole story from beginning to end is a lie.
It's a lie, absolute lie. Yeah, we've never been to Elms Grove, never. Whether Armando did or not, I don't know. But Armando did deal with him, and we had a conversation. Yes or no? Yes. We had a conversation, about interviewing him. And Armando vetoed it because he said, "Dude, look, I was in the Army. I can tell this guy's got issues. He's unhinged. This is not me talking."
Remember, Armando said he was out there with him. He's like, "Do you see that? Do you
hear
that?
See that?
Like,
do you hear that? And he's like, "I don't see anything. I don't hear. What are you talking about?" So he just told him, yeah, to get him. And then he said, the guy is not mentally stable. I'm not going to interview him. And I never brought that up. I never said anything about that. Now, if I was going to attack him and his son, wouldn't I have said, "Oh, really?" Because Armando said you're crazy and we shouldn't interview you, which was the reason why I never did. When your best friend in the field tells you, "Let's not interview this dude," and he's your partner on the show, you maybe shouldn't interview the guy. I'm going to take his word for it because he met him. I didn't. And I still I didn't say or do anything to him. But he jumped all over me, when the whole thing happened with VC. He was all like, "Oh, yeah." And every chance he got, he was like trying to snidely attack me and doing what D from Texas dude was doing. And these people know what they do. They know what they're doing. And that's just two examples. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, that douchebag down in Australia who's always attacking me because of Mr. Virus and Dogman Whisperer. And, the same thing with Mr. Virus. After I helped him grow his group, and he went and told those people a bunch of crap because I said I didn't want to work with them because in their group, Dogman X, they were always attacking women. They attacked Christians. Well, they attacked Muslims too. They attacked anybody who was religious, wasn't an atheist. And then they attacked women. Women were a constant target. And I said, look, I'm not going to be associated with a group that is doing these things, that is got a problem with females and has a problem with, religious people, and they were in there messing with a guy one time because he was Hindu and saying his beliefs or whatever. And they were just like, you're just that Australian that ran the group. You're just as dumb as those stupid Christians over there, And so I'm like, you know what? I told Mr. Virus, I said, dude, I will help you grow Venomous Cringe, but I'm not going to help you grow Dogman, X, because those people, I'm leaving that group. Well, he went like the town.
The majority of the guys in there were so vile.
So
mean to all the women.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe
women couldn't say anything in that group.
I can't believe that one lady was stuck by them. Like, do you like the abuse?
Sam Lowe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I never understood it. And so I got out of that group, and I was friends with what's his name from Dead Man Walking. I was friends with him. Yeah, he's cool, man. I was friends with him and Phil Stern and Della Carter, and they were giving me the 411 on these people. And then David Kyleman came forward and told me, these people, I don't associate with them anymore, blah, blah, blah. They're this, they're that. And they were right. They were all correct, what they were saying. And I got away from them, and I tried to do it peacefully, but they wouldn't let me. And so I endured attack after attack after attack after attack. But it was a small little cabal of people that were just, and I think they were using sock accounts. But when this thing happened with VC, it wasn't just a little cabal of people with sock accounts. It was like bunches of people, and I was deleting, blocking, whatever, trying to get rid of these people. And it was a daily deal. You wake up every morning. Imagine waking up every morning to, violent threats and hate. And you tell the police and they're like, "Okay, sir, we can't take a report every 5 days of people threatening to kill you." And they I just said, look, just be aware, that these people are doing what they're doing, and they were absolutely nuts about it.
Tell them about that, Josh, because this is serious. Like what Josh is talking about right now, like this stuff, like we do this, like at least Josh is getting paid for it. But here's the thing, like I don't. But here's my problem, like you get to looking at it at times, like I don't need this shit. Like, I don't need this. This is not what makes the money for me. Like, I'm a dental hygienist. Like, I can make it without this. Like, at
me too.
So Josh can too. Josh is like Josh already has his own business, his own company. He don't need this. So when we're doing this and we're putting our stuff out there for you, then respect it, whether you like it or not. Like, there's certain music I don't like. Like, I mean, I'm not into John Bon Jovi or anything like that. But as a musical artist, I appreciate the fact that he's a musician. I appreciate the fact I might not like some of the songs. Like, I don't like all of Prince's songs. I love Prince. But you have to take it and separate it. We cannot be children when it comes to this stuff. And if you got into this for cryptids, if you got into this for encounters or because you wanted to learn more information, then stay out of our beef because y'all make it worse too. Josh, you just mentioned, I wanted to bring this up because one of the things that really pissed me off, and this goes back like a month. I mean, Nelly and Josh called me. I mean, I literally almost had a nervous breakdown, and like actually the police actually had to come here to my place for a wellness check because it was so much going on in my personal life. In addition to, then Josh had shared that that screenshot over in his group of he was saying that somebody was attacking us, and in that attack, like they were basically, Josh, were you not? Was your life not threatened?
Yeah, I've been threatened like over and over and over again. They're going to kill me. They're going to beat me. They're going to shoot me. They're going to do all these crazy things. But that's old hat for me. I worked downtown in 6th Street, Austin. It was pretty much threatened by syndicates, mafias, gangs, cartels, and everything else. And everybody was going to come back blasting and shoot me and kill me. And I did get stabbed a couple times. So been shot at. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm no stranger to violence, you know, and these people, like, you know, this guy's talking about, I'm going to beat him because he's really slow, you know? And so I made a video of me hitting the ski bag and I was like, take a look at this dude. Okay. You really, I mean, I train people that you really think you're going to come beat me. You were tired in that video too. I was tired. I was at the end of my workout. And so one of the boxing coaches says I was showing a couple of the younger guys how to work the speed bag. And so I picked up the pace and I showed them my hand speed. On that video, you can see I got sweat all over me, and I've been working and working the bags, and then I just ended it with a right hook because I got timing and speed. I'm not bragging. Everybody's like, oh, he's always bragging, because that's what I do. I used to make money, but to teach people how to do these things. So these people that talk trash, I'm like, sign a waiver. If you really think you can beat me up, let's sign a waiver and we can go to one of these gyms. I'm friends with all the owners of the gyms and the dojos here, and I can beat the fuck out of you. And then, you know, it'll be up, you know what I mean? But I don't know how my fans are going to look at me if they see somebody like a lion mauling a gazelle. They're probably not going to look at me the same. And I don't really know that that's something I should be doing. But yeah, I get really tired of it. And so I was like, you know what? If you think you can take me, go ahead, dude. You have no idea what you're doing. You're just talking crap. You know, like last night I started back training, you know, and was working out with my buddy Eric Konevsky. They call him the Russian gangster, and we were hitting it pretty hard last night, and getting back in the gym. And so, you know, I'm going to start marking my progress so I can streamline myself. So if we do it next year, my love handles aren't bulging out while I'm running around, because I felt almost 6 weeks of not being able to work out. It's just my body looks so bad. I told my wife, I was like, I look terrible in these pictures, and I'm not one of those people that needs to be, you know, looking like I'm coming out of GQ or something. But
because Nelly was in the room with me, Barton, and Letitia, and I was like, they was doing those sword videos. I was like, hold on, Letitia, wait a minute, you need to take a Snapchat. I need that filter, honey. Don't just take no regular picture like that. I was serious, like, so I'm like, yeah, I got to work on some stuff too. But Barton,
you don't need any filters, Betty. You look just fine like you are.
Well, thank you. Barton is so sweet. Nick, what'd you say about Nick Valenti?
Oh, Nick had texted me. He wanted Vault's number. Nick wants to get in touch with you. Vault's in the chat. And Vault, if we could send a link to him somehow so he could jump on here and he could say. I
don't think Vault is on my friends list. Can you?
He's right there. Vault of Nightmares.
Where you say?
He said Josh is the same person is in person as he is here. He's a really smart mouth. I didn't say that. He's a really good guy.
You see his comment down there in the chat?
Yeah, it says right there. And pray for his ex-wife. She's going through surgery.
What's his name on there? Can you see the timestamp?
Vault of Nightmares at 8:57.
All right, let me go see.
Howdy, D.A. Roberts. How you doing, buddy?
I thought you weren't feeling good.
No, he's in the chat.
You need a
Vault of
towel?
Nightmares.
Oh, okay.
Vault of Nightmares. Do you want to join us on this chat or nah? You see, got 8:57.
Don't give him an option. Just tell him get your ass on here.
Well, he said he don't like to. You don't have to get on camera if you don't want to. You can just get on here and you can keep your camera off. Barton ain't on there.
Yeah, I apologize, but I'm having all kinds of trouble here with cameras and connections, and I've been kicked off this platform twice. And I had to get Letitia to get me back on because I'm so technically challenged, right? I'm just
Right.
quite beyond me, all this modern technology.
Yeah, so
I deal with swords and spears, not computers and cameras.
Barton, why did you bring them swords with you anyway?
It's the LBL. The 13 people here.
Yeah, right. It's the LBL, and a lot of people wanted to see them in real life. A lot of my Facebook friends and a lot of the paratroopers. So
I'm glad you did. We had fun.
Oh yeah, we had so much fun. I think the swords and spears. I think they're a pretty big hit. I think they did a lot better than I did.
They did. I mean, that made for a great photo shoot. I wanted to stand up there in a chair and just like basically act like I'm about to fly off the chair.
Right. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Because I told him, he had those spears. And I said, it just makes me want to do. And then Nelly was like, what did Nelly say? On Ox on the Moon. And I was like, yes.
The Ox on the Moon.
You got to do that. Yeah, the mummy. Like, you know what? Yes. I would. Absolutely. I said, you know what, Nelly, I will channel her right now for you. I was feeling that. So one thing I wanted to say real quick, that Josh was very humble. Josh did a badass job. I mean, he did a great job. Like, he was up there, he was working, he was back and forth from like making sure everybody was all right in the audience. He was like, dealing with all the speakers. He was from one table to the next. Josh, like I said, he had, out of all the people that were speakers and then the panelists, there's about 15 of us or more. And Josh literally paid for our gas to travel to and from there. He paid for our hotel room for 2 days. And then outside of that, paid us after the fact. I wasn't even expecting that. I was like, Josh.
Right, me neither.
Right, because Josh had messaged me that yesterday morning, the day before that, saying how much you need for gas. I'm like, what? I didn't even know Josh was going to do that. And I was like, well, I don't know, Josh. I didn't get it. But I had to go to my account and go look it up and see how much. And then like later on when he hit me up on Cash App, I was like, oh my God. Like I almost cried because I was like, Josh didn't have to do this. And when he said earlier, Barton, you know this too, at the end, when everything was getting ready to shut down, Josh gave away hundreds of T-shirts and sweatshirts. Yeah. He gave away so much merchandise.
Right. He said anybody that can fit any size of these T-shirts, come get them free. And anybody wants anything is free. And Josh's table was swamped immediately with people just getting all kinds of cool free merch. And I saw him give away at least $2,000 worth of stuff. And he's extremely generous. And, it really makes me mad when I see somebody trying to denigrate his character, because I know after meeting him and at the conference, I know exactly what kind of a man he is. And he's really a great man. He's very humorous and intelligent and extremely generous. He went above and beyond what anyone else in this country would have done. So I'm going to back Josh. I'm going to stand by him no matter what. I'm not going to let anybody badmouth him in my presence, just like you, Betty. I know what kind of person you are. You're just totally fun to be around. You're nice. You're sweet, intelligent. And I'm not going to let anybody badmouth you either. Or Miss Nelly. Miss Nelly, I know you can hear me. I just want to hug you one more time.
I want to hug you too. I had such a great time with you guys.
I'm just glad that nobody got hurt in the filming of the spears.
Right. Well, that's why I had to be in the room. I was really nervous about letting people handle those sharp swords.
I wasn't drinking, but I saw people drinking at the table, and I was like, I looked at DA and I was like, is this a good idea to be? Barton's like, come take pictures with my sword. And I was like, huh? So, yeah, I was telling everybody and exactly where to hold the swords and not to touch the blade. And, and so no one got cut. So I told Betty, I said, don't you get hurt, girl. I'd feel terrible if someone come out here, wounded because you're wanting to hold Nightmare and Midnight. So everything went really great. And
wait a minute. You named the swords?
Well, sure. Doesn't everybody?
No, oh, my God. Really?
I don't name mine.
They are.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, I do. Yeah, I name my swords and knives.
Nightmare at Midnight.
I love that.
Look, Barton tried to give me one sword, and it just looked. I mean, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, Barton, that don't even work with what I got on right now. No,
Yeah, my swords, they'd be in court Exhibit A. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
I don't do that. That's why whenever somebody had handed me a pocket knife to use or something, and I was wiping. Oh, it was Letitia, and I wiped off my fingerprints and gave it to her. And she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I don't know what You might be at a gas station and be like, "What's up?"
Josh, I want to tell you, man. I want to tell you that the only reason we abandoned you at the very end was because
you hate me.
People were telling us that no one would be there after 3 or 4 o'clock, and it was 9 o'clock, and I'd been so busy both days I didn't even have time to eat lunch, and I was starving, and Letitia was starving, and had a barbecue sandwich in one hand, and Letitia grabbed me by the ear and said, "Come on, I can't eat no barbecue. We gotta go eat some pizza." So me and D.A. Roberts and Josh Anokia and several
I was
other people.
invited, but I couldn't leave. I was like, "Hey, Michelle."
Right, Michelle.
I want to bring up something else about that. Michelle, do you remember when we took the picture together and we were like hugging? Well, people were like, we were joking. We literally made a joke that people were going to say that I was like messing around on Nelly, and they did. That's another thing that happened. It came out on that bull crap on Instagram.
Are you serious?
It was on Instagram.
Okay, well, you know what? I took the picture, so.
The picture of them saying that also that we only had 50 people at the conference. They took a picture. Somebody took a picture at the end, which I'm sure they posted on their Facebook. I don't know which member or PRT person did, but somebody had taken pictures of of me selling the merchandise. That said that I was gouging people, and then they said this is the big turnout when Elijah was speaking, and it was 50 people, 60 people. And I was like, dude, there were like 400 people there. And they're sitting there saying that there was like 50, 60 people. And yeah, okay, so 50, 60 people came and bought everybody's merchandise. Lyle Blackburn, Dave Weatherly, D.A. Roberts, Kenny Irish was completely sold out. He had like one kid's book left. You're going to tell me that 60 people bought all that merchandise? So we had the 60 wealthiest people that came. Thank God that they're all millionaires to come and spend the money that they did.
Right.
Because that was ridiculous, man, to say that, and I barely broke even on the merchandise, but, after the hotel and everything else, like I said, I was down a few grand, but it was worth it to me because everybody was so happy and had so much fun. And the only person that I haven't paid yet is Josh Nanokio, because I figure he makes 6 figures on this podcast. He doesn't need, I'm just joking. No, actually, he kept refusing to take money. I kept trying to get him. Josh Nanokio. He's a very humble guy, very nice guy, very down to earth guy.
He is. He was great to hang around.
He was the largest podcaster there. I mean, and he was great.
Josh, I was so glad because when I was a big fan of Josh Nanokio with Lurks Beneath, because originally he was just doing narrations. He was behind the scenes. He never was doing shows where he was on camera. But then one day when I came across him on Facebook, and I guess he had a page, I was like, oh shit, let me reach out and messaged him and kind of chatted with him, and it was like, I didn't expect him to actually comment back, but that's when I hooked y'all up, because I was like, I'm a big fan. Like, I love his storytelling. He covers like so much, missing people in national parks, what aliens, dogmen, cryptids, unknown creatures, national park services. He covers so much, and the way he has the perfect voice for it. I mean, just a great guy.
He was
fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
So much fun, and we really hit it off pretty well, Josh and I. I really get along with people named Josh for some reason. It's kind of strange, but yeah, Josh is going to come see me next month, and we're going to go out. I'm going to take him and try to show him my places where I used to research. I don't mess with Bigfoot anymore, but I'm going to take him there and try to get him his first sighting of Bigfoot. So that's going to be cool.
I wanted to say something to Barton too. You'd made a post earlier about how the field is kind of shifting and it's starting to go in the direction it's supposed to, because for some reason, some of these other podcasters, not Josh and Tony and me and B and whatever involved, it's different for us. I'm talking about, there's a couple of them that are big, and I'm not talking about DW either. He's already been on the path of spiritual. He knows, but they're trying to eradicate the idea that these things have any sort of spiritual ground or nature. And they're trying to push this narrative that they won't hurt you. And one of these major Bigfoot I'm not going to say his name because he's on a show. Let's just say that they never find anything. Okay, and he told one of my people that came on my show that I did the podcast episode with. He told her that the Bigfoot down by the creek that the little kid was seeing would not hurt the kid. That it was okay to go out there and play. And, you know, even like saying, oh, you can leave them food and things like that. And I'm like, dude, nothing could be further from the truth. Okay. Even if it is a physical creature that has no malice, whatever, it is an apex predator. And it would absolutely hurt your kid, your grandchild.
Even a
And
squirrel will attack
when
you.
she told me he said that, I was like, okay,
Crazy stupid.
this is the problem I have with these people, you know, and just because you're got a name for yourself and you're on TV or whatever it is you're doing, I don't give a crap. I mean, you're putting people's lives in danger. And this narrative that Mr. Dick wants to push, that they won't, they're big cuddly teddy bears and that they won't hurt you. That's I knew that there was an agenda behind it already, but I'm seeing it full blast now, especially when at one time I was told that a lot of his listeners had come to him after playing with Ouija boards and dabbling in the occult. And now he's like, oh, they won't hurt you. You know, like, you know, it's just, it's like, if you wanted to lull somebody to sleep, you talk real nice and sweet, and then you slit their throat. That just seems like the kind of attitude that these people have. You know, it's like you're sitting there telling these people in this nice, calm way that they're perfectly safe and that nothing can hurt them, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, it's something could happen. And then you're like, oh, well, you know, it's not my fault. You know, yeah, it is your fault. You're absolutely responsible if you told them that.
The way I look at it, Josh, is that people need to have, regardless of whether we call them cryptids or not, or whether you think it's flesh and blood or supernatural, it's still a thing. It's still real no matter what. And at the end of the day, you need to have the same respect for it as you would if you're going out into the Smoky Mountains or any national park or forest, when you're going to have to be on the lookout for a wolf, a bear, a mountain lion, or anything like that. Still have respect for it. And some people do. And there's plenty of people in groups, and there's people who show up in my comments every now and then. Like, I'm not a person that promotes going out there and hunting down and trying to kill dog men just because you just want to go out there and kill a dog man. I don't feel like that. I feel like respect them, leave them alone, and unless you have to kill one because your life is in danger, you're getting ready to be attacked, or you're trying to protect yourself or your family, then you know, just don't go out there and do that, because it's not, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to end well for you. My encounters just so happen to be docile encounters, I guess. I mean, not a negative encounter. They never approached. They stood back and watched from a distance. Like, I know where to go right now. And my parents haven't lived in that house since 2019. But I know that I know exactly where they are. I know if I want to go see a dog man tomorrow, and if I would actually go to that house, because I know the neighbors that live in there now. If I wanted to see one, if I stood out there long enough, I think that they would show up, because they always showed up. I'm gonna pull up Valt's comment real quick, because he was asking for prayers for Lakaya. They're taking her leg off tomorrow. Oh my God. I'm sorry to hear about that, Valt. Yeah,
me too. Prayers for your wife.
Oh my goodness.
Or your girlfriend. I'm sorry, I don't know which one it is.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Now a couple other things I wanted to address. So anyway, the conference was amazing. Everybody that was there was wonderful. Somebody had mentioned in my group, and I want to address this because I really didn't appreciate it. It was a comment that was left, and I can't remember who left that comment right now. But I addressed them on it when they said that they felt like this conference was a scam, and it was all put together just to make money. And there's a bunch of people telling campfire tales and stories, and there was no real evidence shared in this conference. So basically, they're pretty much trying to call bullshit on it, which to me, I'm going to let y'all know right now, when it comes to haters, you can be a hater. And I'm talking to you like, you listen to this, understand you can be a hater without even thinking you were a hater, because for one, your point on that made absolutely no sense at all. You're saying no new evidence was shared. You had people to get up there on stage and share. First of all, were you there? You didn't answer anybody when they asked you, were you there? Number one. Number two, if you're going to come and attack some shit, then at least have been there to be able to say, if you had been there, you wouldn't have said that shit in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you had been there, you would have known that each and every single individual that was there, that got on stage and did a presentation, did a professional ass job. You wouldn't have said no shit like that because you would have known you yourself are about that bullshit. And I don't like to call people out like this, but sometimes you got to put people on blast because it's like y'all just talk out the side, like black people would say, like you talking out the side of your neck. You talking out the side of your neck because when you say stuff like that, I'm gonna break it down for you. Like I wanted to major in psychology before I ever was a dental hygienist, so I'm gonna break it down. So you say it was a scam, it was all about making money. If that was the case, even if Josh was doing this for a scam to try to make money or whatever, it costs. Do you think that you or anybody else just deserves for Josh to pay for everybody to go for free, even the speakers? Do you think that? Do you think that with the platform that he's built, you don't think that he or anybody else deserves to get paid for what they do, the time invested in it, the editing, the hours spent? He deserves to be paid for that. He's an entertainer, but he's also a podcaster and he's an eyewitness. Make it make sense. Some of y'all is not rational. He deserves to get paid for it because if Josh left right now, Josh had to pay for his podcasting equipment. I'm just saying, like when y'all do stuff, I need y'all fans also to think about this. Don't be so quick to attack because my personal phone number, address, and all that stuff got put out. They were trying to ruin me behind the scenes to the level of trying to get me removed from several groups, to trying to get me removed from the conference. They contacted Josh. They actually created group chats behind the scene. They had a group chat called Downfall. So, targeted at me in order for my downfall in the crypto community. There's been people that have come at me at all different angles. They've told lies. They've said I'm a racist. They've screenshotted comments and conversations that I've had with them. Some of these people were my friends at the time. Behind the scenes, cropped out parts of conversations, cropped themselves out of stuff, and then put stuff out of context. And for one thing I want to address real quick, and this person will know who I'm talking about themselves. When you tell people that, like, I'm a racist and I talked about your biracial grandkid or child, we never had a conversation about your children. So I didn't know you had any children. Number two, I didn't know you had any grandchildren. And number three, that's a terrible point to make because my ex-brother-in-law is white and two of my sister's children are biracial and my nephew's child is biracial. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that people will believe anything when it comes to this. Josh, did you have anything else that you want to address?
I'm actually being trolled right now, so.
Oh, no, share it, because this kind of stuff needs to be shared. Y'all, see, this is the kind of stuff we'll be talking about. And I'm gonna put it to y'all like this: It's death threats been made.
This guy took pictures from the conference of me standing there half asleep. I got about 6 hours of sleep in 4 days on that conference. So it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for me. And this guy's over here talking about I need to be on 600-pound life. I look pretty bad in some of those pictures, but as you can see, I'm already slimming down.
You look great, brother.
The diet pills I've been swallowing by the handfuls have been working.
Josh, you don't have to listen to none of that kind of stuff. People are saying
it is what it is, dude. I mean, I could have just been like, oh, I'm not gonna do the conference until next month because I need to lose this 24 pounds that I'd gained before the conference.
Well, you should have brought your ass to the conference and said that to Josh's face. See, people look like keyboard warriors out there. They'll say stuff like
that.
Don't
even start with it. It's just another troll. It never ends.
So Josh needs to hold another conference and sit by me, and he can lose 5 pounds, and just like that.
And Nelly,
when I went home on Monday and I went to sleep. I'm sorry, B, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead, Josh.
When I went home on Monday, when I finally slept for like an entire, and I woke up, I literally woke up feeling thinner. Like I finally went to sleep, and it was like my body was able to And I told Nelly, and I woke up, and I was like, man, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, actually, look a little thinner today. And I was like, for the last 2 days, been kind of like my body's been kind of just like, and then I was able to work out because I haven't been able to work out much with my elbow. So you watch, give me a couple months, man. I'll knock these 30, 40 pounds back off, and it'll be where I need to be.
So this is on Facebook.
And why y'all worried about Josh's weight anyway? Worry about your own self.
For real, it's not about how you look. It's not about whether you're black
it's for my
or
health,
white.
though. It's for my health, not for how I look, But I need to do it for my health
because I know these detractors that are saying this stuff is just so petty and
That's all they got. That's Barton. That's all they have. Let them
Right.
have it.
So it's ad hominem attacks. That's all they have. They don't have anything credible against you. And it's like I say, it's not about how we look or if we're black or white. It's about the truth that we tell. And that's what it's all about. And anybody that goes beyond that is just looking for a fight and to start trouble. And, you know, it's just, I know it's hard to ignore them, but they're never going to go away as long as you're the king, brother, and you're the GOAT as far as I'm concerned. He was able to pull off something that no other person in this world could have pulled off. The greatest conference, cryptid conference in history. And you were the only one, I promise you, in the world for love or money that could have put my name on that ticket, because I just don't do conferences, you know. I'm just not that kind of guy. But for you, I gave you my word almost 2 years ago that I would do that if you ever put one on and had one and hosted one. And so me coming down there and speaking for you I was just fulfilling my word. You know, I don't break my word. And it was really a great honor to meet all these fine people. It was like I had 400 brothers and sisters there, and nobody
It was amazing.
walked around. It was just so amazing. Everybody had a smile on their face and they were so happy. They were pulling everybody left and right. You know, I thought, well, there's a break schedule right here, 12:10 or whatever, and I can take a little break. But as soon as the breaks was called, all the audience got up and just swamped the vendor tables, right? So there was no breaks until the very end. So it was great. And I just can't believe it. And I can't wait for you to do another one, Josh. If you want me to do another one with you, I will, brother.
You know, Lyle and Nick and Ken and David were there all together. That's David Weatherly.
Right.
Lyle
First time that's ever happened.
Nick Redfern. They've been at conferences together, but never all four of them under the same roof, nor with you, Barton. So, yeah, we did pull off something that no one else has ever done. And all we've done is get shit and hate for it since we've gotten back. And, you know,
that's sad. It's really
people
sad.
saying all kinds of horrible things about me and about B and about everybody. And just, you know, I heard all kinds of things. Just, I mean, you know, people talking about Ken and saying him and Lyle are profiteers and this and that. They never asked for anything of money. When I got to Lyle's house, I said, I'm going to give you this. Yeah, that's fine. It was very, I mean, nobody was hounding me for anything.
No one asked for money to do this. They all did it for you.
And I told David Weatherly, I took a bunch of books from him and I gave them away, whatever. And I had gotten them to give books for the giveaway and whatever. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Everybody, every single vendor that was there, you know, offered something. I mean, even what his name, Jody, and everybody had something to give, you know. And it was great. It was amazing, and it was. We all came together and there was no fighting. Everybody got along. There were problems because of when Brian thought that Nick had taken his story. But I told Brian, I was like, there's more than one person that could have that story, that similar experience. And I had an experience like that. Not the same exact story, but I did something silly. I got out and I urinated at a place where I shouldn't have. And something came crashing through the brush. And I talked about that on stage. But here's the thing. Of all the people that were there, and when I invoiced, or I told David to invoice me, I said, let me know what I owe you, you know, whatever. The next day, he still hadn't invoiced me. He didn't invoice me until yesterday, you know, yesterday evening, because he wasn't in no big hurry. David's like, you're good for it. I've been working and dealing with these guys for a long time, 3 years now, and corresponding with them for a while. It wasn't like this was just an overnight thing where I said, hey, let's all just, you know. No, me and David Weatherly were having a friendly conversation, and it was also about the action figure line that was basically destroyed by an individual who wouldn't listen to us. That's another deal. But we were talking about that, and then me and David started shooting the breeze because we talk, you know, we're friends. And he was like, you know, when are you going to get back around to doing that conference? You need to put on a conference. And I said, you know what, David, me and Ken were in the process of doing that, and the pandemic happened. Totally derailed everything. So I said, I'll call Ken tonight and just see what he says. So when I got around to it, I called Ken and he's like, hey, what's up? And I said, hey, I was on the phone with David Weatherly earlier and he mentioned that, and I said this on stage, that we should do a conference. And he goes, yes, you're right. We need to get back on that. I'm not kidding, man. The little dude got off the phone with me and was like giving me, he's already like that later that night. He's like, I already got a location. We could do this, that. What about here? What about there? You know? But I think we should do it in the LBL. You know, it's real hot right now, you know. And so the next day he had already called Paris, Tennessee, and was like off and running. And I was like, hey, whoa, slow down there, because I got to get my schedule, whatever. And so it happened really quick, and that was like April, but by the time it came time for the conference, it was August, like April to May, May to June, June to July, July, August, 4 months. And we had 4 months, and we packed the house. And everybody was like, talking crap. And I'm like, and there were people detracting when we first announced it. And there were people talking crap, talking about, oh, you and Ken think y'all are the shit. You're going to blah, 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 And I'm like, dude, we just want to do a conference. We're not trying to make money. We just want to do it. We want to make it big, maybe an annual thing. Ken and these guys have been allies of mine. Barton, we've all come together. We all had our money invested to do the action figure thing, and I had to let it all go back because somebody ruined it, like I said. But we were all in that together. We've been working together. We're all friends. We even have our own group on what is it called, on the chat, the messenger.
The cryptid
chat.
Conference.
No. Me and these guys, we call ourselves the Cryptid Highwaymen.
Oh,
right?
y'all still got a cryptid.
Yeah, we have our own chat group that me, him, and Nick and Lyle and Ken, we talk to each other through there. And so I will. Okay, so
yeah, so I can forgive you and Ken for thinking that you guys are the shit, because to me you are. I mean, just call it what it is.
We were just trying to put on a conference, and we'd already had people saying that nobody was going to pay those prices, nobody was going to, and I'm like, $30, like.
That's what I said. Like, if you don't say that, like, you ain't got $30, you ain't got $35. I mean, you broke as hell. And I'm not trying to downplay nobody, but come on, really, y'all just petty as hell. And
the value for what they got, the value for what they got for their money was just way over the top. You got, the world's greatest speakers as far as cryptozoology and the paranormal. Yeah, I mean, what do you expect for $30?
I like to call stuff out. And like I said, Josh had already spent enough money already. The rooms that he paid for alone was enough. And that was like, oh my God, like this guy, Josh, he's close with Barton, and I think he's close with Nick, and he's been close with him for a while. And we just got to being good friends, me, him, and Nunnely this year, and Barton too. But it's like, he don't know it's like that. He didn't have to do this. Like, this is the stuff that you do for friends and family. It's like, oh shit, like, really, like, it's just, I'm giddy right now, and I get excited, and I'm not boasting, because I know there's people out there that's watching right now. She just thinks she's the shit. You can say whatever you want to say, and if I did think I'm the shit, get over it. What's that got to do with you? And I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that, like, it makes you feel good. It's a humbling experience, and y'all don't understand. Like, you know how they have those songs that say after the show is the after party. We had an after party after the show.
After party. There were two conferences there. So there was the conference in the convention center, and then the conference in my hotel room both nights. So
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know.
But
what
Barton,
more can you ask for?
Why everybody congregate in your room though? You was like the life of the party, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know, Betty. You tell me. You were there.
You had them swords and stuff like that. Everybody came out. I was like, you know what, Barton? You're like, I got the sword, because Barton calls me Betty. He didn't even ask me. He just elected and delegated. You know what? You're Betty. So
I'm from Kentucky.
Nellie walked up to me. She was like, Barton said, call you Betty. Can I call you Betty? I said, no. I don't even want Barton. But Barton, I'm gonna make a special exception for you. But I called him Crocodile Dundee, because when he had that hat on and you look at his pictures and stuff on his page, I mean, he looked like Crocodile Dundee, and them like swords and stuff. I'm like,
Crocodile Dundee didn't have no knife that big.
I was already surprised. Okay, guys. So what else? Anybody else want to cover anything before we?
Yeah, I just want to say, if anybody has any doubts as to what really happened at the conference, come ask me. Go to my page. So it's just overwhelming the amount of support, thousands and thousands of notifications since Monday, and hundreds of messages, all offering support and saying kind words and how great we did. And I didn't think I really did that great. It was my first time. I was kind of nervous, even though I sang for a heavy metal band for 7 years, and I've sang in front of thousands and thousands of people. But I got up there, and I really didn't even I'm going to talk about the sponsor models. I had no plan at all when I got on that stage. And thank goodness Martin saved me. Martin Groves come up there and told his story, and there was hardly a dry eye in the whole house. So you've never seen that at a cryptid conference before. If you have, I'd like to know about it.
You right about that, Barton,
And
because
as much as I love Nick and Ken and Lyle, they're just the greatest guys. But I can hardly remember a thing they said, because what Martin said just stuck with me and sticks in my mind right now. How terrifying that must have been. And they all had great presentations. They're all great speakers. I was the only one up there wasn't a good speaker, but what Martin said, it's just the kind of story that sticks with you and it doesn't let you go. You have to think about it and think about it and think about it. And when I was talking about my dad wanting to kick over that 5-gallon bucket of kerosene and kill 6 children and his wife, rather than let one of those monsters come in and take one of us or something, that's all personal. That's first person. Everybody can get up there and talk about other people's research and their own research and all this, but it really boils down to that's third person accounts and secondhand accounts. But when you have people up there like Martin and myself who can tell you what happened to us, and I'll look you right in the eye and tell you the truth about it, and so will Martin, it really makes a difference. And I had so many people come up to me after the conference and tell me that was the high point of the conference. That and Josh's humility and his generosity. It was just overwhelming. Everyone was family, and I've never seen anything like that. I've never been exposed to that before, and I really did. I loved it, and it was a great honor for me to be a part of that.
Barton, you just mentioned a few minutes ago, like basically about Martin Groves, and throughout the conference, there was so many people there. Of course, there's always going to be a few people that's talking in the back that's loud, and they're keeping others from hearing. But for the most part, they kept it down until they got rowdy for whatever reasons. But Josh straightened that out too. He basically got up there and said, "Everybody, quiet down, please, and be respectful, because we want to hear these speakers." And when Martin Groves got up there, got up there and spoke. It was so quiet in the room, you could hear a pin drop.
Right. There was no sound in the room. Everybody was leaning forward, and there's Joe Doyle and Jesse Doyle, my good friends from Helbig Hunter, was telling me there was a couple beside him. And when Martin started to speak, the guy leaned over to his wife and said, "I got to go to the bathroom." And she goes, "Hell no, you better wait till this one's over." So he sat back down and said, "Yeah, you're right. I'll just wait till this one's over." So everybody was extremely attentive to Martin's speech, and they leaning forward in their seats. And like you say, you could hear a pin drop in that conference hall. So I think everyone at that conference came away feeling satisfied, and I wouldn't let anybody walk away from me that wanted to talk to me. And, I gave everybody a chance to talk that wanted to. I had time for everyone. And like I say, I didn't stop when the conference ended. It was straight to my motel room, and everybody, just kind of followed. And because everybody had a story, and all they needed was someone to listen to him, like Joe. He stood there forever. And Letitia said, Friday night, she said, "Bart, can you go out there and talk to Joe? He's kind of lonely, and really nobody's acting like they want to talk to him." So I'm like, "Oh, no, hell no, that's not going to go." So I ran outside and just saw him leaving in his truck. And I came inside and said, "I was too late, baby, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow." And he came the next morning, and I said, "Joe, hang out with me. Hang out with me today. You have plenty to talk
hang out
about."
with anybody. I want to say something here. I couldn't hang out with anybody. I was up on stage signing the posters, so I couldn't.
Right.
There's nothing I could do. But with that, if I had known, I would have, and everybody was busy, because once we got those posters, the VIP got the free poster, and everybody had to sign it. So I had to sign everybody's at the front of it. So I had no idea, but I didn't know who was doing what at that time. That was on Friday night. Saturday, I'm glad he returned, and I tried to be everywhere as much as possible.
It was impossible to be everywhere, right? Everybody was just pulling you one way. I couldn't even walk from point A to point B without getting stopped 3 or 4 times, And
two things I want to say real quick.
Joe Barton, just stuck with me, and I looked over, and the whole day from 8 in the morning to 5 a.m. when we finally stopped for Saturday night. And I looked over, and Joe just had biggest smile on his face. He was talking to people, laughing, having fun, just like everybody else. And it really made me feel good to connect with those people.
I want to say something. There's all these people in the chat, first of all, and people aren't hitting the like button. So I'd really appreciate if you guys, especially if you're from my group here in the Roundtable, just please be respectful and hit the like button, because I don't know why so many people go in the chats. We had 700 people in the chat last night for the show, and the like button doesn't reflect that, and so just hit the like button.
So I get to hit the like button twice on any show that I go to.
Also, Steven Rivas said something about the hate that was being posted on Reddit. That's a hotbed of just garbage dump, they've been dumping on me for a long time. And I was actually talking to Roger the other day about that because this Skilly's ex, whatever his name is, just trying to convince. That. Yeah, he keeps trying to convince everybody that that Roger had said that I told him to attack Vic, and I never did that. That is not true. And he's been on that horse for a long time and constantly trolling him and trolling me and trying to get us to, say that happened. That is not the truth. That conversation never happened. And Barton was involved in most of the conversations I had with Roger. And so that is absolutely not true. I'm sorry, Roger. Barton, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to throw that out.
No, it's okay, brother.
The whole thing on Reddit has just been, they have just all kinds of stuff dedicated to hating me. The thing is, you're not hurting my feelings. The only time like this guy was trolling me right now, I was like laughing. I was talking crap back. I was like, go ahead, dude. Sometimes it's fun,
But you know what, Josh? Sometimes you need to put their asses on blast. That's why normally, let me push this back. Normally, I don't even give them a time of day. But sometimes, I'm like, today I got time, today I got time. Because y'all want to sit down and be keyboard warriors. Sometimes these people, and especially if it's in groups, you already know this, Josh. You can see me do it before. If you didn't got mad, disrespectful, I'm going to take a screenshot and copy and paste it and pin it to the top of the group so everybody can see what a piece of shit you are. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful like that, but I'm saying once people, you already know, don't nobody want to deal with that shit. If you get in groups and you join groups, and people coming in there to tell their experiences, their encounters, share their pictures or whatever they're doing, then nobody wants to come in there. And we already deal with slack or getting flagged from your family and friends. You can't talk about your encounters from
people look at you like you're crazy.
So when you get in there into a group and you got people wanting to call bullshit, and I understand sometimes stuff is bullshit, some stuff is, but I try my best not to let everything through. But I also at the same time try not to decline each and everything that a person shares, because these are your members of your group. So sometimes you might let stuff through that's not, you don't see anything there, but I'm gonna let it through because their support, and so I'm gonna let it through. So also, fans and subscribers, understand we might let stuff through sometimes because these are people who are loyal followers and subscribers. Whatever pictures that we want in the groups, everybody understands. Everybody wants that money shot, but 9 times out of 10, for the people who really do have it, they're not gonna share it. Why would they share it with you? Because if it's too good, then it's photoshopped, it's a hoax, and everything else under the sun. So some of y'all don't even deserve to see a money shot because of your attitude. Because I've shared stuff, and I'm not saying I got the top-notch, high definition 1080. No, but I've got some good-ass pictures, and I've even gone over in real time. I go out of my way to try to prove a point, because when haters want to say something, or you're not going to be able to prove something to some people. And I actually personally believe that some of the people who do all this stuff, the personal attacks against others, some of it I believe that are agents that are in the groups. I really believe that. Let me see.
I just, wake up in the morning and I raise my weary head. I take a look
there for you, Betty.
my cell phone. People wishing I was dead.
And you see that I said I
don't know where I'm going. Only God knows where I've been. Yeah. Anyway,
you're pretty good there,
Bon Jovi, because I just improvised.
That was pretty, Josh. Oh my God! I didn't know. Is Nelly still? Where Nelly at?
Right there.
Is Nelly gone?
She's right there.
Josh, I didn't know you had a voice.
Reading hate.
Oh, he's still sending messages.
Shot down in the name of Dog Man.
Oh, you got a few of those John Bon Jovi songs in your repertoire, I see.
I didn't even know what that was. I was like, that's a pretty song. I can't even tell you one song that Bon Jovi.
There's a couple.
You guys should make a band.
Oh yeah.
All of them are former band members. Then.
Right, so I sang "Bed of Roses" to Letitia just a couple weeks ago.
Bed of Roses,
Bed of Roses. Almost made her cry. She said.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Now, so anything else that y'all wanted to bring up about the conference at all, or any other beef and drama in the crypto community at all that y'all?
It's always going to be there, and I just there are people who are going to spread lies, and they're going to talk crap. And this right here, though, was a new low. Telling me the stuff they told me about my animal dying, and they're glad. It's like, I thought they couldn't get any lower than talking about my mother, but then talking about my animal, and then lying about the conference, people that were not there, saying the worst things possible. And I have heard people say the worst things about Bettina, saying she's an alcoholic, she takes pills. Like, how the F do you even know that? Is she on the show coming out there like, okay, I got my fifth of vodka. Hold on. Let me get some pills, and then we'll talk about some gaga man.
And I already know exactly.
Does she do that on the show? Because if she doesn't, how the heck do you know what she's doing? Are you like with binoculars looking at her? Because if you are, you're a stalker, and you need to go, somewhere else with that bullshit.
And the sad part about it is, like, they did everything that they could to try to get me disbarred or banned from the
slandering. Like
yes.
To me, it's like this. Hello, police. There's a black woman and she's making some money and she's doing something with herself. Yeah, we got to get that. I don't know. My name. Oh, my name's Karen.
Did you know my name is Karen?
because it just seemed, it's like what is business of yours of somebody? It's like Josh. They have to have some kind of release to be angry, or whatever. And then this other guy, Josh Turner, he's a poo-poo cockahead, and he called me some bad names. Where am I at? I'm in the little playground, the sandbox.
And I'm gonna let y'all know.
We'll be there, sir, with the SWAT to protect you from this evil guy. He just needs to stop.
I have a question for Josh about the conference, Betty.
Okay, go ahead, Barton.
Josh, you mean to tell us we have to wait a whole another year to do that again? That's so depressing.
Unless somebody else wants to step up and take a swing, I mean, that's up to them. They can take a swing. Maybe we can get a home run there. People were talking about doing it. I talked to Trey earlier about it, and I mentioned it with my team, and I was thinking next year Roswell,
New Mexico.
As long as it's not the Bell Witch Cave, well, be good.
I'm
not going anywhere near there.
Not going there.
Not going there.
Josh, you said Roswell, but why you didn't say Taylor, Mississippi, or what's another?
Taylor, Mississippi is too. I've heard too many things about the people there.
Very small.
They're gonna come up to you and be like, "What for? You do math? Why?" I don't know if I want that. Like
you went there, didn't you, Josh? I thought I heard somebody say
no. I've actually driven like right above it, or no, wait, I driven below it. But and actually driven to where I saw a sign or whatever, but I never got that close. I'm from Taylor, Texas, which is really weird because I have a couple stories out of Taylor, Michigan, and then you hear stories out of Taylor, Texas, and Taylor, Mississippi. What is the connection there? Is it the people that the Anunnaki, when they designed the grid, they just put monsters in the spots and like, did you say Taylor, Texas? And they just in the Matrix, they just programmed it in. Oh, we'll just do all the Taylors, so just in case we can, to make sure we got it all,
Right. Elijah and Gabby and Johnny Henderson all went down to Taylor, Mississippi, and said it was a very small place, so I don't know.
It's like one light.
Right. If they have a venue there that would hold everybody, because I told Ken last night, I said, Ken, the next Dogman Conference Josh puts on, we're going to have to go a lot bigger. We need about 1,000 seats this next time.
Oh, we sold a lot of tickets. But COVID put a dent into because we only ended up with about 300 people that were for the conference, whatever. But all together with all the other people and whatever, and the tickets that were sold on Eventbrite anyway. But with people that paid at the door, I think all together it was somewhere around 320, 330. But with all the workers and then us, all the people, it was about 380 people in that place, which was pretty good. So if you look at the people who had to back out from COVID, yeah, we probably could have gotten another 50, 60 people or people that didn't want to go because of the gas prices and stuff.
Yep.
And so we have a bigger audience. Like next time we would probably, and that's the other reason why it's important that we sit here and we talk about this, because you know what I mean? I don't want these people being able to use this information to try to derail what we did and trying to derail and say, because we want to do it again next year and have more people come, because it's wrong what they're saying and it's just ridiculous.
It is wrong. And I'm glad that's why I said, let's address this right now, because it pissed me off. Because I'm like, I'm a part of this. Barton was there. Everybody had an amazing time. It was a great event. I mean, Josh had food catered for everybody. All the speakers got up there. They had their perfect presentations. And then outside of that, just the camaraderie, just the friendship, just the bonding. I was absent for a lot of that because I was off with Bay and doing my own thing, and I had no idea that they were even having all these little parties and taking pictures and stuff. I'm like, you know what? They trifling as hell. They didn't even come up there and tell me nothing. They was like, you know what, B, you just go on and disappear. But I was looking at some of those pictures. I was like, wow, y'all was over there having fun the whole time.
The whole time. So we
call
stayed
it
up to 3 a.m. Friday night. We realized that we had to get some sleep because 8 a.m. comes pretty early,
My
and
cousins and said,
we stayed up to
people were
5
lined
a.m.
up ready to
Saturday
go by
night.
8:30.
So we had 20 or 30 people in the hotel room until 3 at Friday night and till 5 a.m. Saturday night. So yeah, Saturday night was an all-nighter. It was like a whole nother conference right in my hotel room. Everybody was just having a blast, laughing,
oh my
joking.
God.
There's no negativity at all that I could see. None.
I tell you right now, I laid down Saturday night after the conference. My back was hurting, and I got up and just went out. And right there outside my hotel room, there was a bunch of people hanging out at the picnic tables. It was DA and his son, and I believe what's his name, Vault, and them had the courtyard, and the little, what's it called?
Gazebo?
The gazebo, yeah. And
Gazebo,
him and
yeah.
Truth and all them were over there hanging out. I went over there and talked to them. And then I saw Lyle and you, Barton, and then y'all were going back over to the front.
Right.
So
it was great.
saying good night to everybody. And then everybody was like, hey, come and hang out. And Josh and Okio and everybody was there. And it was just like a big party. And it wasn't even that many people drinking. There wasn't a lot of booze or anything. It was just, we were all just.
There was no alcohol at all except for Betty's rum, which you give me a sip of.
But then everybody was drinking. They were like, whose is this?
I was like, I told Letitia, I said, baby, I don't ever see anybody having this much fun with no alcohol involved.
No alcohol,
usually you have to have
nothing.
2 or 3 drinks to laugh like this and be this happy. But
we were just
and
on
Betty,
high.
you owe me a drink, girl. You still owe me that drink.
Barton, you love that Parabay coconut rum, though, didn't you?
That was nice. So you and Mark going to bring me a bottle of that, and we'll drink it here.
Try rum chata. If you like it, it's rum chata is really good.
As long as it's rum, I'll try it.
Is that liqueur, John?
Yeah, it's a liqueur. What is it? Is that the
I've
one
seen
Uncle
that.
Butch drinks, rum chata? Is it that one I get him every year? But there's another one that everybody likes too. There's another one.
So I'm a Sailor Jerry man myself, but
the chocolate one?
No. There's one that was real popular, but then was it rum chata that was originally the one, and then we started drinking the other one.
And I told my wife, I said, Letitia, don't. So I was sipping out of Betty's cup, and I drank off her rum in her cup. And I told my wife, I said, baby, don't worry. The lipstick that you taste on my lips tonight is just Betty's. Okay? And she laughed.
You know what?
It's just
Karuva.
I said,
Try Karuva.
Karuva.
Horchata and rum.
It's rum chata, but it's better than rum chata. Karuva.
I
Just
might
trust
have
me,
to-
Karuva. And if you like whiskey, Garrison Brothers, and then Redbreast is. I don't drink lower. I worked in a rental bar for years. I won't drink the well liquor at all. I will not do it. If I'm gonna drink, it's got to be the top shelf stuff because I just can't. My stomach will get sick, and I just won't.
Right. I'm not a drinker, actually. You might not know that by the way I'm talking, but I drink maybe once or twice a year just when I get together with my brother from Ohio County, Kentucky, Terry Littleton. And, we get together once or twice a year. Right. And so we get to drinking Sailor Jerry, and we have 3 or 4, and then we break out the microphone and the guitar, and then we just do karaoke and stuff like that all night long. It's just the greatest time, I've never seen anybody that happy without alcohol involved. It was crazy.
This
Next
is my little
conference.
sleepy head.
Next conference, we'll bring a karaoke machine.
Karaoke. We have a karaoke machine, and we forgot that, and then we forgot the pecan rum from Texas.
Yeah, I was disappointed with that.
God, we were like already, and we were like, yeah, we got to go because
we'd still be there if you brought that rum, Josh. We'd all still be there.
I wish.
We'd pay the money for
wandering around the
room.
LBL getting eaten by Dogman.
Yeah, whatever,
Oh
Damn,
my
your pecan rum.
I'm not going to let anybody get eaten with it if they're with me. You can believe
Ellie
that.
kept saying that too, Barton, that she was like, I just didn't want the weekend to end. She misses all you guys.
Oh, we miss you too, man. It was like
Friends for
family.
life.
You guys are like family now.
The PRT, that's what Lyle was saying on the way home. He was just like, it was the best conference he'd ever been to. And he said that everybody, the PRT family, he goes, it's like y'all are like a family. I mean, he goes, I feel like we are all, and I had a great time just riding back with Lyle and just all the talking we did. I learned that he has a degree in English. I didn't know that, which explains why he's a good writer.
Right?
Everybody was so nice.
And
Great writer. I didn't know that either.
Things to say about the authors there, because he knows a lot of authors, and he also has a band, Ghoultown, which, but he said that everybody that was there they're pretty much top-notch writers, and so I did a good job on getting the right people. And he was talking about Linda. We were on the way back, and he was talking about Linda's style, her journalistic style, and one of these people I want to address. She threw a Dogman conference up in Wisconsin. And she's another piece of work, and she's one of Vic's lackeys and is pushing the narrative that Dogman don't hurt nobody. And that's bull. And that's absolute bull. And she tried to take credit at a conference for Linda Godfrey's work.
Wow.
Her last name rhymes with Smells, and her first name rhymes with Anna. So, Linda was on the phone with me and Barton and told us what she did, and I confirmed that with David Weatherly. And when I ate dinner with Nick Redfern one night, he told me. I asked him point blank, and he looked me right in the eye, and Redfern told me that was absolutely true. What Linda said, that woman had gone around table to table, telling everybody that it was actually her work. Well, I corresponded with Linda 10 years ago, and I don't remember her at all. I don't remember ever talking to her or giving her a story or exchanging any information with this person at all.
Me neither.
She wasn't even thought of. So who this person is, now she's up there on Bray Road making a conference or whatever. And she was real salty about our conference. And she made a bunch of comments about the action figure thing, about how there weren't any females. And the plan was to get you involved in that too, Bettina, before it got derailed. You were the third female. There were three females. There was Linda Godfrey, Dana Holyfield, and then we made one of Nellie, but Nellie did not want to be. She's over here shaking her head. She did not want to be a figure, and I said, "Well, we need to make some females," so we wanted to pick Bettina. And then there's this another thing that makes me mad when I think about this. People keep trying to say, "Oh, well, Bettina Moss is only in there because she's black female." Okay, first of all, she is one of the only black females that does this. But if she came up there and she was just like, "Hey, y'all, what's up, blah, blah, blah," and then just walked off, it's like, you'd be like, this person is no good. I don't care what color they are, race, or gender, or whatever. But she does good work. And she's got some really good guests on her show, and I've watched it. I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I don't have time, but I've watched it. And I know some of the people you've gotten on, and you've done some pretty good work. You had Kumbo on. I watched that one. Lance Hightower, of course, you had all the problems you had because that's what happens. Look what happened to me last night. 702 people in the chat, and bam. Because Joe was getting too real. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And it's in 2 parts. And then when we got back on, I saw that you
went live, and I was like, what the hell? And then I was looking, and I came back on, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, it says that it already ended, but I know you usually go longer than that. And so a few minutes later, I went and had you live again.
Yeah, and then when the show that me and you did together was a 3-parter, and I don't put garbage pail people on my show. If I'm talking to somebody and they start getting all weird and ratchety and stuff, I'm gonna be like, what? I'm not going to put them on my show. And so when me and you did 3 hours on the show together, I think it went really good. I think it was one of the best. And so, I think you do good work, and I think you don't people try to take it out like, oh, she's just on there because she's a woman. She's on there because she's black, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's just a coincidence, but because she does a good job. And that's why I promote her and put her on.
And let me address that real quick. So if that was the case for the idiots who said that, okay, so if he did decide to have me on there because I was black, then so what? So does that make you a racist now? Not you, Josh, but the person who said that. So does that make you a racist now on there because I'm black and now you got a problem with it? Because you're making yourself look crazy. Number one. Number two, a female. I have had multiple Dogman sightings and encounters. I'm not making this shit up. Like, would I like to see them again? Yeah, probably so. But probably, of course, from a safe distance. I can't say that just because the ones on my parents' property were docile and nothing happened behind that's going to be the case if I were to go over onto Barton's property or over into Taylor, Mississippi, or anywhere else where there are hot spots. But I'm guessing that the ones that were on this property, I didn't know about them as a child. I just know that when it comes to it, I don't make any bogus claims. I don't sit up here and say that, oh, they talk to me all the time and they give me messages. I'm not saying that that's
Leave
bogus,
them
because
apples.
yeah. So, but I do believe that they do telepathically speak to some people. I can
Yeah.
only say that I've had that happen one time, and that was during that first encounter. Maybe because I never outright said something to it. Maybe that's the reason it responded back. But I don't make any bogus claims. My experience is my experience. So if you feel some type of way, then you're a hater at that point, because what is your problem? Why do you have a problem with Josh promoting me? And at that point, it looks like you are a hater and you're jealous because you didn't get promoted.
Exactly.
So,
And that is the problem. I mean, that is the key. Yeah.
it is. So I'd like to call people out. Like, if you're gonna put some shit out there and you're gonna call somebody out and have a problem with somebody getting promoted, or for whatever the reason it is, you are making yourself look some type of way more than anything else. Because one thing that Josh knows, like, about me, Josh and Nelly too, Barton, I think maybe he coming new into it. But my thing on me right now, I don't go to Josh talking to shit about anybody. I don't put people on. I don't put people on blast unless, like, it's some bullshit, especially like what's happening right
We
now.
talk shop. You're like, hey, what do you think about this person and their stories, and what do you think about this? And then we exchange stories. There is a free flow of information with most of my friends. I'm like Josh Nonocchio. You want to use one of the stories that I got? Go ahead. It didn't bother me. As long as they get it correct. And when they get on there, like Jim Hoffman wrote that book, and he's over here talking about episode 129, blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about all this stuff that I was like, that is nothing. I don't know what you're talking about, episode 129. That never happened. I'm like, like I said, like Nandor from What We Do in the Shadows. I never said any of that shit. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Like, he was talking crazy on there, and my wife was reading the book to me, and I'm like, what? It was like, my gosh, this dude needs a hero.
They become, like I said before, they be talking about the side of their neck, and they coming up with a lot of extra stuff, and it's like, y'all done like set up in your bedroom somewhere, and like pretty much like then came up with like a whole list of stuff that you gonna make up on somebody. But at the end of the day, Josh knows this, and I'm gonna end it on this. No, but I'm just addressing this because I probably won't ever address this again, because I don't like to do roll call, as I like to call it. But sometimes some people need to be roll called because the whole community needs to know about them when they're doing the shit that they do. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I've done some imperfect things, and I will own it, and that's what it is. So a lot of people within the crypto community, it's like politics. They will do whatever they can and dig whatever they can dig on you, pulling police records. I don't have no police records, just to show you, y'all know. And it's some other stuff. And they like to share that kind of stuff and put that out there too. So at the end of the day, like I said, I did that video, the crypto community is about that bullshit, to put my own shit out there. Because when you do that, you take the power away. I'm not going to let you release it. I'm going to put it out there first. Now what you got? So it's about politics. So at the end of the day, like I said, that's, I'm just tired of it. We're sick of it. And every time, like, if I'm going to come out swinging, I'm not just going to come out swinging and just leave it as is. I'm going to start actually doing stuff to the point where if I have to keep dealing with these same people over and over, which this one particular person who Josh has brought up earlier tonight, and I brought up also DFT. This is somebody who's been a thorn in my side for
a troublemaker for a long time.
For a long time, a year and a half. And for me, what I don't understand is there's never been like a designated time where I could actually say we had some beef where we fell out. Like, I don't even know why this guy doesn't like me. I can't tell you why. I've never done anything to him.
Me neither. I don't know what his deal is. He's just nuts, dude. He gets kicked out of a bunch of groups. I mean,
well, I will tell you this, Josh, that sometimes when it comes down to it, it somewhat in certain ways gets to a point where you start to feel like, now, is this person dangerous? Because now when somebody gets to that point where they hate you that much and they're going and they're talking to you about you behind the scenes and going in other groups and doing it, and then they take it from that point, and then they're talking about it in group chats. Now, is that an obsession? And then almost someone's like a stalker, like somebody hates you to that degree. I'm just saying, I don't know, and I'm not going to even put that out there. I'm just saying it's some weird stuff, and there's no reason for it. Nobody should have to deal with that.
I would say he probably, has a thing for you, but then that would mean he probably has a thing for me too, because
Uh-oh.
he's just out there causing problems. I mean, and you're sitting there going like, what's this dude's deal? Like, when that whole thing was going on with Marvin, he reached out to me and said a bunch of nasty things about Marvin, and I was like, I thought you were in his camp. And I was just like, what in the heck? And in the end, me and Marvin kind of just shook off some of the ticks, and we're friends. We just don't Flacco says it's easy to say just ignore, block them when it's not you having to endure the attacks. It's not always a viable option. Sometimes you have to speak up. Yeah, you do. And some of the things that were said, like about, they're glad that my pet died and stuff like that. Dude, these people, I mean, what level of hell are you coming from? I mean, you would rejoice in something so vile. That they would rejoice in the things that they're talking about my wife, and saying the mean, nasty things about you, B, and Ken. Ken's one of the nicest guys, good-hearted person, and attacking him, calling him a profiteer. He was running all over the place. He couldn't even sell his books because he was too busy trying to help. Me and him
were so busy that he couldn't come into the hotel room and take a picture with Nightmare.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Him and Lyle was busy. I only got to hang out with Lyle for like 15 or 20 minutes. It was great hanging out with him. He's so cool.
Lyle is
so cool.
I was in the car with him for 20 hours. So
he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
So I didn't get to hang out with enough people, for long enough. Like Vault, I didn't get to talk to him but about 10 minutes. And
Vault and Nick were all over the place. They stopped a guy the night before. Listen, y'all don't even know. They had a guy driving around in a weird car, and they stopped him. And the guy looked like he was wearing a wig. Well, he was circling around the conference. Then he says, "Is this where the Dogman conference is?" And Vault's like, "Yeah." And so the guy just said, "Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to know when it starts." He goes, "Well, it ain't starting at 4 a.m. Why are you out here?" And my godson Tony was inside, still working on the merch or whatever. He stayed up all night, bless his heart, him and Anthony. And they confirmed that there was somebody driving around out there, and Vault and Nick put a stop to it. And there were people trying to come in, well, it's open carry. And we're like, well, there's only a few people that are going to be allowed to carry in here. And so we had to wand people down. Starscream was at the door. He's one of my guys from the old days. His name, we call him Starscream. But anyway, he was
great guy too.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's not somebody to mess with. But he was wanding people down. And there were people who he turned away. I mean, there were a few people that were just refusing to disarm. And he's like, I don't know you, your name. I don't care. You're not. There's only a few people that are going to be allowed in this building with that. And so it was, touch and go for a little bit there. But once everything settled in, everybody was great. We had a great time. We had fun. I enjoyed it. I met Shoddy Boy. He was a cool dude. Shout out to him. He seems like a good guy. And I loved hanging out with pretty much everybody that was there. Like I said, at the end, I walked around and I took inventory of everybody, and everybody was sold out. Kenny Irish. I'll tell you a funny story. Ken had bought. Ken was like, should we, because we couldn't get a hold of the people from the event to tell them, hey, how is the kitchen? Are we going to have room to have drinks served and all that? And so Trey Felton, the caterer, he's also a Bigfooter guy. He's written a book called The Jewel Harem, and he's actually going to be on my show. But he was asking about it, so he asked me and Ken, and we were like, well, let's get a hold of the event, people. So we didn't know. So Ken says, well, should we buy water? So I bought some water, and he bought water. Barton bought water, and then Trey bought water. So we all had tons of water. But we didn't have a lot of drinks because we didn't know until the last minute. Then Trey got the drinks. Well, Ken's
500 bottles of water and not one Coca-Cola. That was like, what the hell?
But Ken, because Barton's a big Coca-Cola guy. So Ken, he says, well, why don't we get some like cheap sodas or something? And I was like, I'm not into the cheap stuff, whatever. And I said, you mean like go to Dollar Tree and buy Shasta or some crap? So then there's this. So listen to this. It's like this long, awkward pause, and he doesn't say anything. And I'm like, Ken, are you there? And he goes, yeah, actually, that's what I just did. And I was like, you literally just went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of shafts. And he goes, yes, dude, it's good. I was like, yeah, well,
Oh,
I
man.
guarantee you Barton's not going to like that.
Well,
'Cause Barton
Letitia was
really-
there, and I was thirsty as hell. And she said, "Hey, baby, there's Cokes over there on the table." And I looked over. I said, "Where? I don't see no Cokes over there on that table." And Kim was standing right there, and he said, "Oh yeah, we got Coca-Cola's over there. It's Shasta, and it's just as good as Coca-Cola."
No.
And I looked at him like he had 3 horns growing out of his forehead. I'm like, "What? What did you just say, kid?" It's always good enough for me. I'm like, "Oh God, do you have me some tea or something? Give me some water or something." But yeah.
And then
Can't
Kenny
do that.
Irish,
Can't do
bless
that.
his heart, he came in and he had his table. Ken had put all the snacks on his table. He goes, well, Kenny Irish only has 2 books because he didn't realize he had all the children's books too. So he goes, it's like, and I knew, so I just let it go. I was gonna let this play out. I was being deviant. I was like, go ahead, yeah, put them all on his table. So Ken goes and puts all that cheap soda and those snacks that we really didn't need on Kenny Irish's table. Kenny Irish comes in, he's like, what is all this crap on my table? And I told him, I said, they each stole it on the floor. And so Kenny just dumped it on the floor. He's like, what is this? This all this mountain of Shasta, because I was like, I said, Ken did. He's like, who did that? And I was like pointing at Ken. And I was like, yeah, Ken did that. And I didn't know you had that many books, And he goes, yeah, man, I have like 4 books, And I was like, okay. And I did write the foreword for Kenny Irish's second book, International Cryptids. And I was thankful and grateful that he gave me that. He asked me to do that, and I wrote it. And it's a good book. If anybody goes and checks it out, it's #1 on Amazon. It's been #1 since it came out. And so just wanted to give him a plug because Kenny is salt of the earth, good guy.
He's a great guy. And I asked Kenny, I said, "What, Kenny, you got the #1 bestseller on Amazon, and you can go to Walmart and buy your book. How the hell did you do that? And why are you not speaking? You just sitting here selling the books." He goes, "Well, maybe next time I'll speak. I just wanted to be a vendor this time." I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, he
time
wanted
you
to
be up on
on the
stage.
panel, He just wanted to do.
Great panelists, man. Everything was so great. And Josh, and here's the thing.
Was he up
You
there
look at all these
as a
conferences and you
panelist?
see these names and you know these names from your personal experience that they're just pretenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get some attention and maybe get some limelight or 15 minutes of fame or whatever, it's whatever it is. But everybody on your panel and all your speakers were just so genuine and authentic. I couldn't believe it. There was not one name up there that I thought, man, this guy shouldn't be here,
Absolutely. It was amazing. I was
It was
happy.
amazing.
I was shocked the whole way through. It was the best. That was my first conference. I've never been to one before, so I have nothing to compare it to, but it was just
Mine
everybody.
too.
It was very professional, even during the panel session. And I was like, Josh, I don't know what I'm gonna say. How is this gonna go? I had a full panic attack mode. Josh and Nelly were like, "You'll be fine." I'm like, "What the hell does that mean?" Like, Josh, what am I supposed to do when I get up there? And I was so thankful when we got up there that Josh did not say, because originally Josh was like, "B, you're gonna be the first panelist," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." And I was happy. And
I
Josh,
was just messing with
luckily,
you.
he didn't make me go first. But then after he was calling me for a question, I was like, you know what? I've got to do something because Josh didn't call me here just to sit. And if I don't do something, I'm going to disappoint. So I went on and told my encounter for the 1-2-30. I felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, you went in and you started just talking, and it was just, like you'd been doing it for years. And I just sat there, And the thing is, everybody knows about me. I'm not shy. I can stand in front of thousands of people and talk. I really don't care. I mean, I'm just, I'm a talker, and I just look in the audience, and I'm just like, whatever. And I was just making jokes, and I'm pretty loose. I really don't care. I can talk in front of anybody. I can fill a stadium and talk. And I've actually done some stand-up. And funny enough, it was almost an all-black crowd, and I killed it, and everybody was laughing, and spinners.
Wait a minute, Baz Mayhem. How long ago was that? This is 9:08. Baz Mayhem. Is Baz Mayhem still out there, Josh?
It's right here, 10-12 p.m. Carla, and a good 8 too much.
Josh, you got to shut it down now because Baz Mayhem said he want to get in, and I'm just now seeing this.
Put him on here. It doesn't matter to me. Let him say what he has to say. Let him say his piece.
What is his name on Facebook? Because I'm gonna have to add him in. I think
Michael Watson. Or no, that's true. That's truth. So Bass. What is Bass's handle on Facebook?
Bass should send me a friend request on Facebook first, so I can send it. Or you have to, yeah. Send me a friend request on Facebook, or whatever, so I can send you the link to join in.
Yeah, they're
That's
great
great.
guys. I got to spend some time with both Bass and Truth, talking to them, and I could talk to those guys all night.
Their story is amazing.
Right, and Bass, I was talking to him about fishing and everything, and it's like everybody was. We had so much in common with each other there, right? It was awesome, man. So that was my first conference too, Betty, and I'm telling you what, I don't know how any other conference can top that one. I just don't see it happening unless it's going to be the second annual Dogman Cryptid Conference.
I'm serious. I mean, Josh needs to do this every year from now on. I mean, that was the greatest thing. I mean, that was great. Josh is the GOAT for that.
I say
I
twice a year. Twice a year is better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did anybody end up? Because some of them was talking about originally they wanted to go out into the LBL that Saturday. I think Nick Valenti and
yeah, there was a few people that did. I think Curtis Turner did.
Right, Joe and Jesse Doyle did too. Helbin Holler, they went out there and got ate up with about 500 ticks. So shout out to Joe and Jesse if they're in the audience still. I can't see the chat, but yeah, they said we should have stayed, Barton, and hung out with you guys in the hotel room.
Who said that? They missed out.
Helbin Holler, Joe and Jesse Doyle. Yeah, great people, big supporters of PRT. They do their own thing, but they really like Josh and they really like me. We hit it off really good, and they like Letitia. And so hopefully we'll get together with those guys and do something.
Ron Murphy's in. I'm sorry,
right. Ron Murphy was wow. What a gentleman he was. I was so impressed with him. I could talk to these guys all night. They were such great people. No one there to complain about.
Bass Mayhem. If you
okay, so Bass and Truth want to hop on. Michael J. Watson. That's what he's under.
Okay, I can
put Ron on too. Ron Murphy. Ron, if you're there, let's send Ron Murphy
you see him in the comments.
I can send them the link right now. Hold on. You gave it to me.
And send it to the other two also.
Okay, I will. I'll send it to there you go, right there.
And then when they get on here, Josh, y'all just watch the comments because I'm going to have to take a 5-minute break. But if y'all keep the show going, we'll keep it going.
Yeah, I can't see the comments, Betty. I see one that popped up that Bass just said. Bass, it was a pleasure hanging out with you too, buddy. And we need to do it again for longer. It was great talking to you and Truth both. So many great people there.
Josh is getting ready to add them in. Send them an invite. And
Josh said buy an island, and so we can just hang out on that island, sip rum, and just have a great time. That would be great.
Rich people, they live in a nice house that you can see from the road. Wealthy people, you can't see their house. I'm not in the wealthy class. I can't buy an island.
Right.
I can't,
Me neither. Don't worry.
Believe me, if I could, I would. If I ever won the lottery, we'd all, just like me and Lyle were talking about that. If we won the lottery, we would just do this stuff all the time. Quit our jobs and be like, yeah, whatever, dude, and just do whatever.
Hotel, so we can all just stay.
Buy a hotel and just hang out there.
Right, we do it every day. Every day. That would be great.
Bass Mayhem. Josh just sent you the messenger link. Not the StreamYard link. If you're gonna join us, check your messenger. He just sent that to you. You think he's still out there, Josh?
Yeah, I just messaged with him right now. With Mike.
There he is. All right, he's there, y'all. Josh, I'm gonna run. I need a 5-minute break. If you will,
I can keep it going for you.
All right, I'll be back shortly. Break time. Hey, Bass and Truth.
I can keep it going for you.
All right. Hold on. I'm gonna take a break. I will see you guys momentarily. Y'all keep it going, Josh, because you can still read the comments and stuff, and I'll be back in just a sec.
Sure. So,
what's going on, everyone?
I'm in charge now.
You're in charge now. Uh-oh.
Who's the teacher now?
Don't tell him what Betty's going to come back to.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, dude. But seriously, I'm in charge. So, no. So, Bass and Truth, you were at the conference. Is this both of you guys or just one of you guys?
It's just me right now, but if you give me a second, I think I can send it.
Just send the link over to him and we can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was at the conference, and what everyone is saying is horseshit. there was standing room only there.
Yeah, it was filled up. Yeah, and them saying that there was only 50, 60 people there and that people were price gouging people, that's not true. That is not true at all.
Oh no, the main truth, we bought stuff and you was like, yo, you guys want anything else? I'm like, Wolf, we're good, man. Don't don't even worry about it. We're good.
I was trying to be a good host and trying to take care of everybody,
Oh,
and it just
You
seems
were.
like,
you guys
Yeah.
were excellent, man. Excellent.
Bass told me they don't have much crappie fishing up there in New York. So that's a shame, Bass. You got to come down here to Kentucky and we catch some 2 or 3 pounders, fillet them up real good and have a big old fish fry.
Oh man, my biggest crappie is about 2.5 pounds.
That's a good one. That's the keeper.
Oh yeah, he got thrown in the grease. Don't get that twisted.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, let me send my brother the link.
let me see something real quick.
Just do it like right here.
Huh?
Just do it like right here real quick.
Do a quick live?
Just real quick.
I've already told people that I was coming on.
Well, and that way I can post the link in the comments.
You can post the link right now.
No, I mean in the
You can post it on the Paranormal Roundtable group.
No, I did that already. Just like when you do the live, whenever they do
Stop interrupting me when I'm cleaning my room. I've already told you about that. Why?
Because I can.
Josh, I want to say one thing to you, bro. I want to say thanks for not abandoning your fans and thanks for not giving up the fight, because true champions never give up, right? You see it. We're both boxing fans. You see the champions that they get knocked down 2 or 3 times and they always get back up and finish the fight.
Well,
and that's exactly what you did, brother. And you are a legend now and well deserved.
I don't know about all that, but
I'm telling you right now. Now you know.
Listen, if you do it on the West Coast, next year I'm gonna fly. I'm not gonna drive down.
Well, we were thinking about New Mexico, but I mean maybe Fort Worth, or something,
Oh, I will come down to Texas, absolutely.
Next time we do it, if we do it in Roswell, Bass,
you're right up my alley.
Yeah, then you got what's up?
Barton won't go. Won't go to Roswell.
Why?
Barton, you won't go, right?
Why?
No, if I have to fly there, I'm not going to go.
He don't have to fly. He can drive.
If I can drive, I'm good. But if God wanted me to fly, I would have wings on my back.
Barton,
and I don't trust airplanes or bridges.
All you got to do is just drive to Texas, and you can drive with us the rest of the way.
We'll get an RV.
Sounds
you can
good.
Carpool with us. Me, Lyle, Nick, and Ken already said if we do it again next year, we're gonna carpool, and you can ride with us, and we'll all ride in a little caravan together, and we'll go to New Mexico.
Excellent. Don't forget the rum this time. Okay.
I have 2 cases of it right now. I would have had a great time. I apologize to you too, Baz, because I didn't bring it. So
nah, you're good, man.
So
I was like, "Where's the rum? Where's the rum? Where's the rum you promised?" And I Betty let me sip on hers, and I'm like,
"We left it."
Betty disappeared because Mark was looking for her, and he didn't. We kind of disappeared into the hotel room. And the next thing we know, it was like an hour later, and Betty's like, "Oh my God, I didn't even tell Mark where I was at," and he thought she'd done been kidnapped, And I was like, "Where's Betty? He's supposed to bring me a drink. Where's Betty at?" And they said, "Betty's not coming back." I said, "Damn."
Yeah, she was tired, and the thing is, Ken was worried that if we had a bunch of drinks there, people might drive off and something could happen and we're liable. But nobody was going to leave after the after party.
Nobody wanted to leave, period. I mean, It was like getting an arm amputated to leave that place, right?
Yeah, that's how hanging out with Kevin and Melissa Panay and Michelle Milner.
Right. Life of the party, dude. Michelle.
We had so much fun. It was just
she was so funny.
She was there. She drove all the way by herself. There were so many people like Adam Jinks came all the way from Vermont.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. And it was like I couldn't believe how many people were there. If we do it in Roswell, though, Bass and Trude, you have to be not on a panel. You got to be speakers because you got to be able to tell your story. Because I was thinking the next time we do it just sort of like a paranormal con, and we call it Dogman / Paranormal Con, and that would be.
I'm down. I think I actually freaked a couple of people out because they asked me about the thing in my foot, and I was like, "Okay, you want to feel it?" Like, what the hell is that?
You're like, it was it's what happens when you're abducted by aliens, yo. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what?
That's scary.
It's scary, dude. I mean, I was talking about that earlier. That's why I was saying to Trey Felton, I was like, we need to do it next year in Roswell. He goes, oh, that'd be badass. And he was like, I'll cater it again, you know. And I think it was a great success. And I just, like I was saying to Bettina and Ken and Barton and everybody yesterday, was just like, I just can't believe that people try to take something away from you when you do something. It's like they want to take something. They're so salty and so mad, you know, that they and really a lot of it boils down to their big hero robot voice. You know, he doesn't go to conferences anyway, dude. He's got to hide his identity. So why are you upset
Right?
that he didn't
He's
go?
never held a conference.
Yeah, they're
But
like,
it boils down to this, Josh. You know, you're a fan of some one person, and you want to subconsciously you want to see everybody else fail, and you want to see your favorite rise to the top. Like, you know, you love the Dallas Cowboys, and you want to see Tom Brady fail, right? It's natural, but they take it too far when they make it personal and just make these statements that are just outright lies. You know, this was the best conference ever, and it couldn't be any better unless you just drug a dead dog man in by the tail and said, "Here you go."
here it is.
You know, that's the only thing this conference was lacking. That and Phil Stern. If only Phil could have made it.
Phil
Stern,
and
yeah.
Chris Clough.
And Chris Clough, yeah,
Chris Clough
right.
had COVID. He couldn't. He was going to ride up with us.
Damn it.
Wolf, Truth says he's in the back end lobby. If you could let him in.
Okay, how do we do this here? I think Bettina might have to do that. I don't know if
I think he pushed the enter now or tab or something like that.
Truth says I'm in the studio. How do I get him in there? And Ron Murphy, hey Ron, actually Ron's on there in the chat. He says we all want to see Tom Brady fail. Not me. I'm a Bucks fan. I like the Cowboys and the Bucks. Those are the teams.
I'm a diehard Cowboys fan.
Me too. I love the Cowboys, but my number 2 is the Bucks, man. I like the Texans too, but they're so terrible. I can't even. So Ron, I sent you a link so you could jump in too, because Ron was defending me with some of the nastier comments people were making, and he was defending it, you know, and I appreciate that because these people just.
Oh yeah, but the night before the conference, I believe that Ron and his son might have seen something walking in that tree line right there by the hotel.
Really? Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
See, I want to get Ron on to talk about that.
He's in the studio, but
like we sent my brother down by the telephone pole and everything like that to get a height estimate and all that.
I don't know why the link isn't working for.
Yeah,
Ron.
Balt was telling me something about that, Bass.
Ron got on here. He could talk about that.
It was nice meeting you, Bass, over there.
Oh, Nelly, it was a pleasure. Pleasure. Wolf, I'm not gonna lie. Like when you came up to me in Truth and you asked us to hop on panel, I was a little nervous. My hands started sweating and shit. I'm like, no. All right, you know what? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was great. You know,
it was
absolute pleasure being there. If you go more out to the West Coast, I'm flying this time.
Yeah. Bass, where do you work? Because I know your brother works at like UPS, right?
Well,
or FedEx.
I was working in a restaurant, but the restaurant closed down. So now I am going to a butcher shop to learn that type of trade. So, I don't know. You might see in a few years a restaurant put up by me. I don't know.
Really? Are you? You think you're interested in owning a restaurant?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. It's just very easy to lose your butt though in the restaurant business. You got to really.
Oh, I know.
You got to hustle it up, man. There's a lot of work.
I know. For the most part, you got to stay on top of the books. Master book, you're pretty good.
So Barton, you're working on the Spotsville Monster book, and that's what we need you to do.
Right. That's what I'm doing, bro. And Justin Nokia wants me to write for him as well. So I think I'm going to get back into writing it pretty heavily now.
Oh, dude. That would be amazing. And also you and Ken agreed tentatively to be a part-time co-host for me, and you did too. So
Right.
you guys have to come in. That was part of the stipulation of me staying in was you guys come in and co-host part-time because Tony Mushu's got a lot of things going on, dude. Like, so I can't,
Yeah, and he needs to read those graphic novels that I told him about too. We sat there and talked about comic
that's
books
all
for
he
2
does
hours.
is play games and read comic books. That's his
Right.
that's his bag right there.
Dude,
He's a
Mushu
great
is
guy, man.
awesome. Mushu is awesome. I
Yeah,
hung out with
Mushu's
him
a
after the
good kid.
conference. Mushu is awesome.
Yeah, I like him and Anthony. They're good kids. They are such hardworking kids, man. I'm telling you. And my nephew Zane and his dad, my brother, they had to stay behind and work, and Scorpion too. They all wanted to come, but we had to have some people had to stay behind to take care of the business, and they did that. I'm blessed by God to have some of the best workers. I've had people working for me for two decades, and it's just really is a blessing to have that kind of to people to help you. You know.
Yeah, they're all great guys. Every one of them was great. Isaac was great. You know, he's a big tough guy, but people don't know that he's an artist. He was showing me some of his tattoo designs. I'm like, wow, Isaac, this is
You talking about Starscream?
right.
I don't call him Isaac. I haven't called him Isaac forever. Like when he first started working with me, I called him that, but he became Starscream real quick.
Yeah, Starscream was cool as hell, man.
Yeah,
He was.
He's a cool dude.
Held the door for every single person that walked in, and even me when I went in and out. He was holding the door for me. I'm like, man, Isaac, you're a real gentleman.
He didn't want me to pay him. He was like, nah, man, I did it for you. You know. Same thing when my mother died. Him and several of my friends came around, and they supported me, and they witnessed all the trolling. And you know, one of my friends, he was just like, dude, how do you deal with this shit? Like he was like, these are my brothers from the day. Not my brother like D is, but they're my brothers. And they were just like, dude, you know, we need to find these people and kick their ass. I'm like, yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it? But they're all over the country, and you'd be wasted to, you know, it'd be ridiculous to go around trying to fight all these people. And they were really offended and pissed off at the things that were being said when my mother died, and all the trolling that these people were doing. And they were just like, dude, I mean, and one of my brothers, it was right after my mom's funeral, and my phone was going off, and people were saying all kinds of nasty, mean things. And one of them was just like, why do you put up with this shit? He's like, is it worth it to you? You know, is it worth it? And at that time, my brother D, he was like, it's not worth it. He's like, you know, I keep telling him just to quit if his heart's not in it. So I did temporarily. My shoe came off. I did temporarily, and I was just like, you know, I'm done. I'm not going to do this. And so I took a break. And then when I came back and I did what I did. But this time around, I promise you, I'm not joking. Heading down there to the conference, Lyle Blackburn had asked me, he's like, so is that it? Are you done? And I said, yeah, I just don't have it in me anymore, dude. I'm just not, you know, I'm not. And he was, you know, said the same thing Ken did, same thing you did, Barton, same thing my brother. You know, he's like, if you're quitting because it's something you're not really passionate about, you want to do something else, then that's a good reason. But don't let people run you out.
Right. Don't let the bullies win. You know, you have to stand up and stand up for good. And you're a good guy, man. And you know, there's only one way to handle bullies, and that's to beat the shit out of them. Now, I know this from school. Then they won't leave you alone until you do that. But obviously, you can't do that because they're keyboard warriors, and they feel invincible because of distance. And you can't. If they get up there and say that stuff to your face, you know, it'd be a different story. They wouldn't do it. Josh is like a huge guy, and he's like strong as a damn ox. And I would hate to have to fight somebody like Josh. And I know this other guy's giving you all kinds of hell. Dude, he would last about 3 minutes or less.
Dude,
you know, he'd be backing up for 2.5 minutes, and then it would be over.
I mean, I got videos.
Don't get it twisted. Josh is a big dude. I thought I was a big dude. Josh is a big dude.
He's a big guy.
Josh, how tall are you anyway?
I'm almost 6'4".
DA and Truth are in the back lobby.
Yeah, DA's in there, Truth's in there. Ron Murphy's trying to get in, but he said he can't. The link's not working for him.
Let me send it to him real quick. Hold on. Did you know?
I thought I was a big
Josh,
dude.
You're Mark about what?
25, but Josh dwarfs me.
Yeah,
Mark is 6'4" too. Mark is tall.
Yeah, you know, and I posted a video of me. I was doing incline with a closed script. Incline closed script is not easy, and I was doing sets of 3, 495 495 pounds. And then I posted a video. I'll send you the videos. I'll show them. I'll put them on Facebook. But one of them is of me doing 660 on flies. 660 pounds is no joke. And then I have one of me doing a speed bag, and then one hitting a water bag, and then doing the head movement and showing people, being quick like that. And people are like, they think you're just a big guy, you're slow, and I'm not slow at all. And these people think, oh yeah, there's a big guy, or he's probably going to try and wrestle me or some bullshit. No, that's not. I'm going to break your jaw and knock you out of your head. And that's just what I do. I've done that my whole life. And I'm a nice guy, but I have a limit. And when these people keep talking crap, like I said before, you sign the waiver. Now, I was told yesterday that it's not as simple now. You have to actually have the place where you're fighting has a waiver, but everybody has to sign it, and there has to be a lawyer involved on both sides. So that has to be done. If this person wants to fight me, I'm totally down. I just don't want my fans to look at me differently if I hurt this person. I don't want them to be like, because I'm not afraid of being hurt. It's not going to hurt me. It's just going to be him getting the hell beat out of him. And I don't think he really knows what he's talking about. He keeps talking about I'm slow. And I literally, my wife can tell you, she's seen the training.
Slow.
She's seen the training videos.
But you know what?
Nah, he don't want that smoke.
Yeah, I mean, my
And
shins are not.
Bash just said he don't want that smoke. I love it, Bash, because I
He don't. I
like
mean,
that.
believe me. No.
I said that in the group one time. If you want that heat, you can get that smoke. Come on with it.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
I mean, unless he said he's been fighting all these dudes on the base. Unless you've been fighting with the Decepticons for 10 years, I don't know who you've been fighting with that have made you that tough. But I have no idea.
Call D.A. Roberts. D.A. Roberts just messaged me on Messenger. Now he want to get in on it. We're having a whole party over here right now.
Oh, we're going to have a mini conference right here, Betty.
That conference is coming to.
I'm telling you, I'm serious.
Did you get Ron in? Because poor Ron
I sent
can't get in.
Message him and ask him because I just sent it to him.
Dude, the first, when was it? Friday night, we did like a live stream underneath the pavilion out there. Amazing.
Oh, I saw that.
Then the next night, after the conference, we had a whole bunch of people in there. We had Don Johnson doing his first stream. D.A. Roberts jumped in on it. Josh jumped in on it. Dude, I felt bad because there were so many conversations going on in the background. But, dude, he absolutely loved it. Hands down, this is top 3 experiences. This is knocking on number 1. Knocking on number 1 shoulder.
What is going on, everybody?
Truth. Hey, Truth.
Can you put me up on the big screen real quick?
There's DA. What's up, DA?
Oh, there you go. Truth DA. How's it going?
All right.
I'm going to send that to Ronald Murphy again because he was there and I didn't know. I didn't scroll down that far. So let me invite Ronald Murphy back because I didn't even know that he I didn't know that he was down there. Okay, I see him. He's there, y'all. So I'm going to add Ronald Murphy in now.
And the hat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I like it.
Ronald Murphy.
Best hoodie I've had in years.
Okay, Ronald Murphy's
Yeah,
on
you're
here
wearing
now.
one
y'all.
I have to order one from your merch store. I want one of those hoodies.
Can I just say something?
DA, all you got to do is ask. Anybody in this, you guys want something, just tell me you got it.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Listen, for all you individuals out there that are poo-pooing this conference, saying that there wasn't anybody there, that Josh was price gouging, I'm gonna say you guys are full of shit. All right. Me and Bass drove down there from New York. When we heard Josh was putting on this conference, we knew this is going to be special. We need to be down there.
That's the truth.
We drove the 16 hours down there from New York because we wanted to be part of that. And you know what? I was not disappointed. Ask Bass. I had a smile on my face all damn weekend.
Damn sure
all
did.
weekend.
Right,
Best
everybody
time
did. Right.
Best time I've had.
Oh yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, Bass and Troops didn't even get to come to the hotel. They were so busy.
Yeah, we were live streaming.
Everybody's doing their own thing, but the party was in my hotel room.
Everybody, every single person there was cool as hell. Every single person.
They were.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. If Hot Pockets were there, you get that shit very silent.
Lene wants me to switch hats.
Sound like a snowflake falling.
You know, Ronald Murphy, can you hear us?
Did Robert change his hat?
I added
D.A.
Ronald
Roberts
Murphy
changes
to
it.
the stream.
Yeah, I was getting comments because on my stream I was wearing this one.
Nice hat, DA. I like it.
Thank you,
a nice one. I have one that looks
Love
kind of
it.
like that one, but then it's got a skull on it. But it looks too close to Lyle's hat, so I never wear it.
That's why I didn't wear this one to the conference. I wore my
Yeah.
Coltback hat.
Now you guys
Oh,
gotta do
DA.
the black
DA,
hat.
I am almost done with Lakeview, man.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
what do you think?
Oh,
Dude, I feel like that needs to be a movie.
Dude.
That would be. I'd love that.
Hey, I want to say
Okay.
something about DA's books. I'm not a big fiction guy. I like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and that's about as far as it goes. But
Real quick,
DA's
y'all.
books are epic, dude. If you have, I bought all of his books, like
Yeah, you did.
at the conference. Every one of them.
26 books. He bought a copy
I
of all
bought
of them.
26 books, and Nelly was like, "I want one of his books, two of his books." And I was like, let's just buy them all. Why? I'm not into half measures. Let's just do it. If you're gonna do it, do it right.
Ron is backstage.
Listen,
Ron
Josh.
is backstage now.
no, here's the thing though. I can't. I'm on the free version, so it only lets me have 6 people in here.
No, it's all right. I'll hop off because I got to go to work in like 3 hours. But I just want to say, Josh, thank you, dude. That shit was awesome.
Absolutely.
It was.
Thank you for showing up. man.
Anybody that says anything else, you guys are full of shit. Go away.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Thank y'all. I'm
There you
glad
go.
y'all got on here and said
Rep-
that because, like I
PRT.
said, hey,
Yeah.
listen, Truth.
Yo,
That was Truth just said that. You remember that song by 3 6 Mafia? Who Run It?
mm-hmm.
You remember the words of that song? I ain't gonna even sing it, but
Yep.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Listen, I'm gonna leave it with this. Listen, to me, right now, that man, Mr. Turner, is sitting on top of the cryptid world because he pulled this shit off without a hitch. I know
Yeah,
he was
he is.
stressed. I know he was stressed the hell out about it. But you know what? He did it. He got it done, and it was awesome. Everybody there agreed, and they don't like it because he's sitting on top of this shit right now, and they hate
He's
it.
going to be there right a long time too. Truth. That's right where he belongs.
Exactly. But
I agree.
I'm gonna hop out of here. Thank you guys for having me. I'm gonna let Ron
Yeah,
jump
Truth.
in.
Thank you for
Hey,
that
Truth, it's good to see you again,
kind
man.
words.
Yeah,
man.
good to see you, Truth.
You guys have a good
Hopefully,
night.
we'll see you in Roswell.
Yep. Hey, listen, come to my channel tomorrow night. I got pictures and all kinds of shit. We're gonna have all the Nightmare Nation people that showed up there. They're gonna join me in chat and everything. All right.
Awesome.
See you guys.
Sounds
Have a
good.
good one.
So we
All
got
right, I'm just gonna add Ronald Murphy on here with us. That 6 people. Is Bass and Truth still in there too, ain't it?
Well,
Yeah.
this Bass Truth. Just,
Ron Murphy, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
hey,
Yes,
Ron.
he's here, y'all. We
Hi,
got Ronald
Ron.
Murphy.
Hey guys, this is great. I was waiting for the show to come on. I've had a nightmare day today. This is the day that I had to take my kids school shopping for clothes. But I wanted to jump on here and watch you guys, and really True said about everything that I wanted to say. You know, I felt really intimidated coming on here because all of those guys at that conference, everybody there, and girls included as well. You know, I look up to these people. These are the people that I try to emulate. These are the people that I feel have been my mentors. And never once did I feel that I was excluded. It felt like a family gathering to me. And I've said that before on my own private Facebook postings. Never before did I feel so much camaraderie. And I also felt as if everybody was genuinely working together to get to the bottom of a lot of mysteries out there. I've been to paranormal conferences before where the stars are cordoned off and they charge, you know, for autographs. I've been to those conferences. I've been to conferences before where, you know, it's $120 for somebody to get into, and families can't take their kids there because it costs too much. This was an all-inclusive type of gathering. I could not be more satisfied with a conference as a spectator, and I cannot begin to tell you how thrilled I was to be a presenter at a conference such as this. Truly, this was the best conference that I've ever been to, that I've ever been involved with, and all the people that I've met there, and I'm including the presenters as well as the public that came through. I think I met a lot of very good lifelong friends there, and I'm really, really excited to see where the future takes you, Josh.
Yeah, thank you
Here,
for
here.
kind words,
Absolutely.
Ron. when I had my conversation with Ron and you too, DA, I mean, y'all are two of the smartest people. I mean, just blown away as far as your intellect. And a lot of times when I talk to people, and that's not one of the people on this panel here, but I've talked to some people getting their stories. I'm not going to mention any names, but they don't keep up. And I'm like, dude, I got to drag them along. But talking to you guys is like talking to, it just clicks. Like me and Bettina, we just talk. It's like, we chop it up,
Yeah.
But it just seems like sometimes when you talk to people, like Lyle was describing to me, he went on a guy's podcast and he was like, after every question, he said something like, okay. And he was just like, dude, this guy's putting me to sleep. And like my friend David Weatherly says, just because you can don't mean you should. But Ron, you are like a scientist. Like talking to you is like talking to a scientist. And I when we were on that panel on Lon Strickler's show, Monsters and Mayhem, is that what it's called? Phantoms and Monsters. I'm sorry. You and me, it seemed like, on that show, we really clicked. And I reached out to you afterwards because you kept up very well with the pace, that I was, talking, was rapid fire. And I was very impressed with you. And so I told Ken, I said, I want Ron Murphy to be a part of this. And he goes, oh yeah, Ron's a great guy. We got to get Ron on there, And so I was determined to have Ron and DA be a part of this thing because you guys write good books, you do good work, and you're so smart. It's just very intelligent. And DA, your son is super smart. Y'all's kids are great kids.
Noah, yeah.
Everybody's, but it just seems like, when I talk to you, Ron, I always have like such a good rapport with you, like I do with all the people on this panel. But it's like you're super smart. And for the average person, you're probably intimidating to talk to because you know so much about this stuff, and you can veer off into the science part of it, and just flow in and out of it, very well.
Well, I do appreciate that, especially coming from you, who I hold in very high esteem. I think that if we would expand this, or if you would expand this to a presentation that includes other facets of the paranormal, although I think the Dogman Conference did a very good job at that as well, too, being all-inclusive. But I think that if you have an all-out kind of paranormal conferences, you talk about going down a rabbit hole and connecting dots. I think that kind of forum would definitely allow that. And I'm not sure exactly what you're planning for next year, but guys, wouldn't that be amazing to see a 2-day conference?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Or 5-day conference.
I wanted a 2-day conference.
I think you could sell out a much bigger venue.
I gotta say, brother, DA and Ron really stood out to me as being just such gentlemen and great guys. I could hang out with those guys every day and love it. Just a pleasure to be around both of them.
I feel the same about you, brother.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I got to get the action figure.
Yeah.
I told Josh that.
Barton Nunnely action figure. That's all.
Well, I bought one. I had one made and I gave one to Elijah for his birthday, and cost me $150, Ron. So I don't know if you want to go there or not, man. Pretty expensive.
I don't have an action figure, but I do have this badass horny toad statue that Josh gave me. That sits on my desk right next to my Bigfoot.
Texas mascot.
Nice.
There you go.
Bass, did you get one of those, Bass?
Which one?
The horn toad.
Oh, yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They got get little backpacks.
Yeah, we gotta get little backpacks on there for the amazing dumb because I'm amazing dumb, according to somebody on my live chat.
Well, that's great grammar too. Ron, what did you see? What did you and your son see out there at that conference?
Yes, talk about that.
Well, yeah, it was interesting because Paris, Tennessee is one of these great little towns, but it still has a lot of wild area associated with it. So where the hotel was located, there was a bit of woods around us, skirting around us, and there's not a lot of ambient light around there. No big businesses or anything. A lot of mom and pop things. So it's not like there's a Walmart parking lot right beside us. So it was very dark that night. We were getting the residual effects of one of those super moons, and we were just simply outside at our car loading things up, and my son said, "Hey, Dad, there's something moving around back there." And I looked back, and it was quite dark. It was by a telephone pole. And so we're probably, probably over 100 yards away. And I looked for a while, and sure enough, the darkness was slightly moving. There was something definitely down there. And as we both peered there, and obviously whatever was down there knew that we were watching, it simply stepped back into the woods. And of course, I told some investigators yesterday. We had a great time, looking it up on the GPS and finding out that these woods were indeed connected to bigger woods beyond it. And it was just like the perfect storm with not only the conference, but with the kind of paranormal activity that was associated with it. So I think it almost operated as a sort of paranormal Wi-Fi hotspot, and whatever was out there just simply tapped on into it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, see how good this guy speaks, Josh. Don't ever make me follow Ron, okay?
Yeah. No, me and
Wow.
Ken were actually talking about that because Ron is he's hard to follow. And I think him and I think the ones that, not to take away from any of the speakers or whatever, but of course, Martin Groves and Barton, but I mean, like,
Great presentation.
I really enjoyed Ron's and David Weatherly's. David Weatherly about the Skinwalker, because he talked about the shapeshifter element. We can get into that because I mean, I've opened up at the conference and I said, look, there's all kinds of things going on here, and I get story after story after story. When you have with the deal I made with Josh Dinocchio and a few of the heavy hitters, and also with NADP, and of course me and DA. I'm not an official member of the NADP, but we work together. DA being the head of what you call the
Region 2.
The Region 2, director.
Yeah.
And so I get a lot of stories. I have a library available to me of over 14,800 stories now.
Wow.
Everything from possession to Dogman, Bigfoot, UFOs, whatever. It's a huge, huge library. I don't have to go out and hustle stories. I can just pick and choose what I want, but I still get them also at the rate of probably 50 to 100 a week right now, coming through from with me and all the guys together in my team. But you have to pick and choose what is that people can digest. But you get a lot of stuff that involves a shapeshifter element. And these people who want to poo-poo that, and they want to say, "Oh, there's no government doing this. There's no petty shape-shifting. There's nobody." And in fact, these things are just evolutionary creatures that are just lovable, good, just big doggies. And you can go out and pet them and just give them an apple because they're actually vegetarians. And these people are out of their motherfucking minds, dude. They're freaking minds.
Yeah,
They're
that's
freaking crazy.
That's
so all these good stories everyone's got, I maybe should write in humanoids too.
Oh man, somebody was talking to me about Inhumanoids, still my number one book. I mean, not to take away from anything else. Anybody
Thanks,
else?
brother.
I got an autographed copy of that at the conference.
Yeah.
Ask Bart. One of the first things I did when I got there was dug out my copies of Mysterious Kentucky 1 and 2 and had him sign them.
Yeah.
I said I have humanoids in the car. I didn't know everybody was setting up at the tables. I got there and we started hanging out at the picnic table there at the corner by the vending machines, and while everybody was setting up, and I got to the convention hall and everybody already had their tables all set up. I'm like, what the hell? No one told me we were supposed to set up. But with Rachel Poole and hello, Rachel. I saw your name pop up.
Rachel's
She's
cool,
such a great gal. She helped me and Letitia the whole weekend.
Amiria, we see you.
Right, Jenny, Melissa.
What y'all looking at the comments?
Well, that's like when we were on a panel and someone asked about the rake, and my brother said something about them coming out the cave systems, and it actually made sense. Like, they're pale. Like it I was looking at everybody on the panel when he said that, and everyone was like, "You know what? That shit actually makes sense."
You know, I've heard people say that they come up out of the ground, and then it makes me think back to Admiral Byrd, and I don't remember if one of y'all brought that up.
The underground,
the Hollow Earth theory.
Hollow Earth theory. I like that. I don't know if it was you or was it Tony Merkel. One of y'all brought that up, and I was like, that's real interesting. And I always go back to the Nephilim theory.
I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, we did a show on it last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like to razz Ken because Ken followed me on DA's show, like on Deus Ex Machina, and I got like way more views than he did. And me and Ken were he was teasing me. He goes, "Well, you're not on the elite level yet. You got to write a book." And I said, "Well, I'm pretty sure I'm there because look at DA's show. You came on after me, or was he before or after me?
I think right before you, like
right before me, and I said I killed it, dude. And, and I was boxed in. I had to talk about gargoyles, but I had so many different encounters that could be gargoyle related, So I told Ken, I was like, you got to flow, freely. I was talking about gargoyles.
That was a great show too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. That was awesome.
I learned a lot about the gargoyle sightings. You were talking about stuff I hadn't even heard of before.
And Nick was talking about all the history of, he was like, he did the research on it. Nick is good on the research. I wanted to say something for your listeners that are in the audience tonight, and I'll let you, since you're the host, Betty, as Barton loves to call you.
I don't know how Barton came up with that.
I'm the only one that can do that.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
He's the only one. You know what? Barton just came up with it. I gave Barton a pass. I was like, Barton, you know what?
Betty, you're so sweet.
So I can't call it, but okay, Bettina, I call you B anyway. I say B. It's like I call my brother D. I call you B. So B, you pick somebody in the audience, and I will send them something from PRT, in an autographed book from one of many authors. It might be my friend DA or Ron or who knows who. Barton. Okay, I got a whole room in there full of stuff from Chad Lewis.
Let me see who. Did y'all hear that? You see that Josh is still, even the conference over with, and Josh still being. Josh is generous, is like generous.
Look at this man.
On a regular basis. He's still
Don't ever listen to anybody say that he's a scammer or, out for the money, because, he lost several $1,000s in this. But what he did gain was a lifetime of friendship from several hundred people.
Absolutely.
And he already had mine. And what he accomplished was something so amazing that I'm not sure that it can ever be duplicated again. But if it is ever duplicated, it would have to be Josh Turner who does it. That I'm sure of.
Well, I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, I second that.
I'm gonna go through here, Josh, because I want to get one of the people who show up regularly that deserve it. But I want to say, Baz Mayhem, I didn't even realize all this time. Like, you come and watch a couple of my shows, and I had no idea that was you.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
That's just like I was undercover.
Nah, I listen and I'll say what's up, but then I
feel.
And I would like to say, DA, I went back and watched your video of the thing behind you in the woods, and holy snake.
Yeah, we didn't see it at the time, and that's the most terrifying part. I spent most of my adult life as a cop, and I'm a trained observer, and for it to get within 20 yards of us and me never know it was there terrified me because it didn't make a sound.
I had to wait to get home to put it on my big screen, but I was like, because my cell phone's too small, but I was like, holy shit.
And I just talked to a guy yesterday, and I don't have his permission to use his name or his account online yet. I'm trying to get him to come on my show, but he was telling me about a dog man attacking his vehicle while he was driving. And I said, where did that happen? And he said, Joe Bald Road, which is just a quarter mile down the road from the Joe Bald Park, where we filmed that.
Oh, trust me, on our way back we got stuck in. Well, I guess there was an accident on the Kentucky Turnpike, so we ended up going through like the backcountry. And trust me, I pulled out my video camera and I was recording. I got it downloaded, and I'm gonna go through it frame by frame and not see what I see.
Yeah, you never know what you might find.
Mr. Stern, I'll say hello to you, Phil Stern from Germany. He's one of me and Barton's friends. Always making memes and being funny.
Oh man, the best meme he did was the dude on the phone. It's like, Big Thunder,
Right.
Big Thunder on the
Over the
phone.
police on
I
Wolf.
want to report a successful
I was
conference.
like, yo, that is hilarious.
The dude's like, room 128 is being really loud. They're having a lot of fun.
I ain't got
out there
nothing
by
to
the
do with it,
gazebo.
y'all. I
Right.
ain't got nothing to do with it.
That's because Betty was in there. She was in
Tim
Listen.
Sawyer
128.
says, any chance of making the next
Yeah.
conference available online or this one available to download? I'll be willing to pay for the opportunity to hear the speakers, and I'm sure others would too. Actually, Tim, Daniel Jones is in the process of editing that and putting it together, but it was so many hours of work and footage. It's going to take a little time, you know. But yeah, and I want to get it too, because I want to know what Brian's talking about, and I want to know who told him that Nick said these things, that used his story that touched off as a whole shitstorm that created all this big mess, you know, that got me drug into this, you know.
It's ridiculous. I got drug
our
into
name,
it too.
yeah, my names got thrown in there, and I'm like, why are we being thrown in there? You know, because we know who it is, because DFT doesn't like you or me, so he took an opportunity to take a swing at us, because he swings from Vic, you know, Vic's, you know. But that's just how it goes. I mean, you know, it's been going on now ever since I said I wasn't going to have him on my show or go on his show, and it's just been nonstop attacks, because that's just how it goes. And the crazy thing is, you know, like, that man told me he wouldn't promote me unless I came on his show. So he was trying to, you know, basically force me to continue to give him material. And I was like, dude, I have my own show now. You told me that if I had my own show, and he refused to give me any.
Told you he had a free shirt for you.
Yeah, he told me he had a free shirt
I
for me,
said,
and I
oh,
missed the boat.
Yeah.
On my own story that me and my guys worked hard to interview these people we worked with at a large construction company I was doing security for, and me and Scorpion and D and Anthony and everybody, we talked to these people and we interviewed them, went to their ranch, talked to these people, and then this guy tells me that I need to pay for the shirt, and I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, man, I mean, come on, dude. And then, you know, hundreds of thousands of views on those shows. So,
hey, Josh, are you going to make the recording that was made of the speakers available as a DVD?
I don't know about DVD, but maybe a stream. You know,
that would be really cool. I've had a lot of people ask where, you know, if it was recorded, and we didn't record it because you guys were doing all the recording. But I'd like to get a copy of my presentation for my channel.
I'd like to get a copy of your presentation too, DA.
For recording, we asked somebody to stop recording, and then they did it again repeatedly, and they were just asked to leave. So there might be one salty nugget there. I don't know that person, but
there were just some people on my show asking if it was going to be available on a DVD where they could get a copy, because they didn't get to go to the show and they wanted to see the presentations.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be really cool to be able to get one and have it signed by everybody. But that that would be awesome. Impossible. Whoever got that PRT lamp, I don't remember who won it exactly, but somebody won the PRT lamp with everyone's autograph on there. That's going to be really cool. I think the posters, it was pretty awesome. Those posters, I've had people asking me if they could buy one of those posters with all of our autographs on there, and I'm like, I don't have any. I don't.
Was that Mushu walking around with the Parnum table lamp?
Yes.
Yeah, Mushu. He had it signed by everybody, and I was like, "What are you doing, man?" And he goes, "I'm going to get this signed." I didn't know if he was doing it for himself or whatever. And he said, "Well, it'd be a good idea for a giveaway." And I said, "Okay." So
those lamps are really cool.
Yeah, the lamps are really cool, and anybody that wants one of those, just hit me up and the messenger, and I can give them to you at my cost. So
I got one of those. I got the one with the UFO on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, dude,
I got both.
Mushu is cool as hell.
Ain't he though?
Yo, Mushu is cool as hell.
Yeah, he's
Mushu and Anthony. I was like, oh my god,
Tony,
I love these
Tony
guys.
too.
They worked hard.
That poster was real popular, brother. So Letitia, I had Letitia take one around and have everybody sign it, and they kept walking off my table. So she eventually had to get 3 posters before we could actually keep one. I said, honey, put this one in the box behind us. Don't leave it on the table, because it's going to walk off again, and we're not going to have all these great signatures from these fantastic people.
Oh man,
So,
I'm
yeah.
looking at you guys' signatures right now.
So
I got this
somebody's
thing
asking,
framed up.
where is Martin's story? Martin is supposed to come on my show on Tuesday. He's supposed to be on PRT. Joe, I think, wants to go on your show, Bettina. If you, and then we could switch off or
Yes.
whatever. But
Yes.
Yeah, I want to
definitely,
get both Martin and Joe on mine as well, but I'll
Yeah.
wait
Well,
a couple weeks after you guys.
yeah.
Martin actually gave Nelly his book to give to me because I had
He
told
gave
her
me, he gave me one too.
I didn't get to catch him, but when he talked about that loud metallic crash, that loud metallic sound, I was like, oh shit, he is him and Dark Woods. Dark Woods, that he's a follower of yours. Dark Woods, not Dark Woods.
Yeah, I know.
Cryptid Project, but Dark Woods
a
is
good
the
dude.
only other person other than Martin Groves that actually talked about that loud metallic noise. And I think I told you about this before, Josh. And it's so loud. It's so weird. When Kumbo came to the property that my parents used to live at, I took him out there. That day we were back there next to that creek. And we were just standing there. And all of a sudden, everything got kind of quiet. And the hair stood up on my arms and Kumbo's. And we both looked at each other. And we both said it at the same time. Did you feel that? He said, we're being, and then he answered and said, we're being watched.
Oh yeah,
Immediately after he said that, this humongous, loud, metallic crash out of nowhere. We're in the woods. Out of nowhere, just comes. It's so loud. I don't know. I guess the best way I can describe it would be like we took one of those huge industrial metallic dumpsters that they have like at apartment complexes or something like that, or a railway car or something like that, and you took it from thousands of feet up in the air and like dropped it down into the concrete. That loud, or sonic boom loud, crazy.
Oh yeah,
And
Dark Woods is a good dude. Me and
oh
me and
yeah,
my brother had him on the show. Like we was doing evidence breakdowns and everything. Dark Woods is a good dude.
yeah, yes. That's Steven Seagal. I got to reach out to him too because I want to talk to him about that.
Oh yeah, I just got his phone number. And I'm calling him tomorrow morning.
Nice.
I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to do this to you guys, but I have work tomorrow. I'm glad I got a chance to jump on here real quick, and I want to tell all of you people out there, I genuinely love you guys. I really do. It was great meeting everybody, and I think the idea of friendship goes to everybody that I met down there, and I have your backs through anything, and I will definitely defend you guys as if you were my own family.
You
Thanks,
already
Ron.
did defend me, Ron, and I
Thanks,
appreciate that. When they were talking trash, I appreciate that. So
No
The
worries,
feeling's
guys.
mutual.
Hey, take care, guys, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Have a good night,
Okay.
Ron.
Good
Good
night.
All right,
night.
Ron. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Apparently, okay, well, Impromptu Truth, I don't know. Are y'all familiar with Impromptu Truth channel? That's at 9:36. I missed it. We've been talking, and I wasn't scrolling the whole time, but I'll have to reach out
is
to
that Sean G? You're talking about Sean G?
An Impromptu Truth.
That's
Yeah,
Truth.
that's my brother.
That's Truth
That's my
channel.
brother.
Yeah.
Truth.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he
So
wants to join
okay,
in.
so okay, got you. All right, so he already joined in. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I'm gonna have to shut it down too because I gotta be at work at 6:45, and I haven't eaten all day, so I'm trying to hurry. I just want to make sure. But I think this is a successful live we did tonight. I think that it was very necessary because this wasn't about starting beef or anything like that. Or we were basically trying to do damage control from
Mhm.
all the garbage that happened as far as like after the conference, which basically shows that the fact that these people came out with gun slinging directly during the conference and after, it's like, okay, well, you're just trying to get your 5 minutes of fame behind this, and you're trying to get crap started. And I, like I said, I'm like, when it happened, I was like, how did I get involved in this?
Yeah, it was like it was ridiculous. And then somebody set Bowden off. Like somebody told him something that I think was disinformation. That got that whole thing started. And then I saw that video, and when I saw that video, I was like, here we go. And I knew it was going to end up dragging me into something. And you just can't win for losing, no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
somebody just said Reddit is a cancerous cesspool. Reddit is horrible. Reddit is they are 24/7 on there. There are people who literally, believe this or not, my wife's sitting right here, and she can attest to this. They will literally watch every episode of my show and listen to every episode of my show, and then they will go pick it apart and run to Reddit and talk a bunch of crap.
I've never actually been on Reddit.
Yeah, don't waste your time. It's not,
Yeah, it's not worth it.
a bunch of garbage pail people, and they're angry because I don't know what they got, what their problem is, but there's this one guy that's on there. It's like he worships VC, and that's his god, and he just trash talks anyone who will stand up and say anything about the guy, and nobody wants to mess with with VC because it's just not worth it. His fans are the hot pockets are so crazy and so vile, that nobody wants to deal with that. They just don't want any part of it, But the people he's messed with, he's gotten away with it and flown under the radar with it because he's always like, I'm a therapist, I'm a nice guy, and then his hot pockets just explode on anybody who says anything because they believe he's a nice guy, and it's really a sad situation. But there are a couple people that are just absolutely cancers to this whole field, and they don't produce anything really at all, and they don't really do any really good work. They're just there,
It's crazy. So, Josh, some people wanting to know, and I'm gonna shut it down after this. When are you gonna have Martin Groves on the show? You said Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah, I'd like to have Martin on Tuesday. We had talked about it. He said if I stayed in, because I had going down there, I was done. Coming back, I was done. I was talking about, well, time to write the book and get it finished. Got a lot of it together, and we're going to get it done, And but the haters, along with my friends, kept me in. I mean, then my brother's kind of his pep talk. He was like, dude, you're going to just let them win by you're just going to let them, walk away with whatever. Because I said, it's not even really about that. But he said, that's the perception. It's going to be they ran you out and they're going to rejoice in that. And kind of got me to thinking. I was like, I want to stay in just to see them squirm. If it bothers them so bad that I'm up here in this captain's chair every Tuesday, then I'll be up here in this captain's chair up in there. So,
just like Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
Barton.
Oh, I said just like Captain Kirk. You belong in that chair, man, and it suits you well. And I just want to say before we shut this down, Betty, that thanks to all of my friends that's come into this chat room tonight and showing me support and love. And I can't see the chat. I'm sorry, I can't see it. Every now and then a comment pops up, but I appreciate all you guys. You're a blessing to me, and I love you all. And
we love you too.
Just thanks a lot. I really appreciate you.
You know who you
are.
I'm gonna be out there to visit you in Kentucky in a few months, Barton. I'm serious. I'm gonna get you on the Letitia tomorrow. I'm serious. We've already talked about it.
You better, girl.
Phil Stern says something. He says Wolf is so right about VC. VC did not even want to converse with me, know anything before and after Wolf covered my encounter. He's one of the many people whose encounter I covered, and I've heard this before. He wants nothing to do with you. Once he's done with you, he's done with you. If you can't have any more use from him, that's it. And see, that happened with Phil Stern. The same thing. When I covered his encounter on Dogman, that's what happened. And that's the way he operates. It's just that's his deal. I mean, and it's a shame there's so many people that if you don't have anything that you can do for them, they don't want to do anything for you. And I can tell you right now, everybody that was at that conference, there was none of that. All the people that went to that conference, they aren't those people to just take. They wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to give. They wanted to, and everybody was so happy. From the caterers, the vendors, the speakers, the attendees. It was just a great time.
Bro, I was sitting front row.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was.
I had a great time. Thank you for having me on.
Real quick, I want to let y'all know Martin Groves is down there in the comments.
Yeah, I just saw that, Martin.
So I'm excited. What time is your show with Martin Groves on Tuesday, Josh?
Tuesday at 8:00. I'm going to try and get Martin on at 9. Me and Barton have to go over the details with him or whatever, because I think Barton's going to start being a regular on the show, right, Barton?
Right, brother. I help you any way I can, and Martin's already told me that he would go on anyone's show that I feel has integrity. And you guys, so just get ready for Martin. He's going to come blasting on everyone's show. DA, Betty, Josh Nanocchio, just everyone that has a podcast. He's ready to tell his story to everyone. And I think that, it's he's like part of my family. It was like a brother meeting a brother there. And So if we just stick together, and grow, we can change the whole face of this paranormal. There'll be no more of these pretenders getting all the whatever they're looking for, the spotlight or whatever. We need to make sure that people are genuine and not liars and fakers, and we can change the whole face of this paranormal field. We can do it.
I agree with you, and I think that we all need to stand together when there's a bunch of bullshit going on in the crypto community. Stand together.
Like the Avengers.
Like the Avengers, and like call it out, because this stuff, people get away with this stuff all the time, and it's not okay. And we need to change the dynamics of that, because I don't appreciate it at all. I don't like it. People need to be put on blast.
Right, we can do it, Betty. I can feel the change already. I can sense the dynamic is changing, and it's all going to be set right. My whole life, Josh, this is true. I walked away 3 or 4 years ago, and I just didn't want any more to do with this field, because there's so many liars and attention seekers and sensationalists. It's just embarrassing to me, and I didn't want to be considered a part of it anymore. And thanks to my brother Josh Turner and Johnny Henderson, they got me back into this, and I'm grateful to you, because now I get to witness this big change that's going to happen, and I can't wait.
The problem is too many people view this as a competition, and I don't see anybody out there as my competition.
Right.
We're all just trying to do the same thing. We're giving people an outlet to share their stories, because some people are very deeply traumatized by their stories. Martin, you could hear it in his voice up on stage. Joe, when you talk to Joe, he gets goosebumps on his arms telling these stories. These stories have affected people profoundly, and all of you guys have given a voice to people that would, for the most part in society, people think they're crazy because they don't believe in cryptids. But we all know from firsthand experience that they're real. And giving people a voice and giving them an outlet is a wonderful thing. And I don't view anyone else out there as my competition. The only person I'm trying to be better than is the guy I was yesterday.
There you go, DA. That's how you look at it there, brother.
Absolutely. And it's like, to me, the whole thing of competition, it's petty. That's jealousy. And like I always said, I don't have time for it, because I've always said this from the beginning. I tried to not be a part of like other people's beef. I got enough drama on my own, people attacking me on a day-to-day basis. And like I told y'all, this is just what I've observed just during the time I've been in this. There's a lot of beef within researchers and podcasters in the crypto community, to the point where people I call it make up and break up all the time. 1 minute they don't like each other, the next minute they're friends. And now I got a problem with them too, because I had a problem with them because you had a problem with them. And now it's a problem for me. Like, they don't fool. So it's just like, you got to separate yourself from it. Like, so for those, and I try to keep my circle small. I learned a lot just from dealing with some of the people that I was dealing with before, that were within my inner circle, who was supposed to be friends, learning how wicked and how manipulative and vindictive people can be, to the point they take it to a personal level. And we just got to put a stop to that, because it's like a fungus. Like, they just keep growing and growing. Like,
one thing I looked at too is that, I've never been one of those people like I'm the leader, I want to be the boss, I want to be in charge. The only time I ever stepped up and did that was because I looked around and I didn't see people that were taking the lead and being competent. So sometimes fate calls on you to step up and do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. And there's always going to be the people that are jealous and hating and saying that, I can do that, I should be that person, whatever. But you really have to find someone who's pure at heart, and somebody who you can trust, and somebody who has everyone's best interest. Because being the leader, or being the person that other people look up to, it's not about you and yourself. What it is putting everyone else ahead of you, and because you have to take care of their needs. Yeah. That's what being a true leader is. And so many people don't understand that concept. They think being a leader is about hoarding power and accumulating things. And my grandmother was Comanche, and one of the things she always said was, it's a silly concept that she didn't word it like that, but she said, we don't own anything. You don't own anything. The earth does not belong to us. We are just living on it. And she did not understand the concept of owning a house. Like, how do you own that? How do you own a piece of land? How do you own objects? You really don't. You're on this planet for a little while, and then you die and you go on, and you go to the Great Spirit. That's it. You don't have anything else. You don't take any of it with you. You're just borrowing it, and then it belongs to someone else. So the concept of hoarding power and wealth and whatever is a ridiculous concept when you think about it. And you have to follow leaders that will make the way for everyone to try to be better, and make it their lives better for the people that follow them. Because if you're not doing that, then you're not really a true leader. You're just a tyrant, or you're just a dictator, or whatever. And sometimes it does require being dictatorial, but you have to be a benign dictator. I mean, but people don't understand that. They think that it's about, oh, I got all this power and I can throw it around and act a fool. And that's the downfall of just about everything, is people in power being not good. And what we're doing right now is a prime example of that. Of these people that they're following are not good, and they just do not get it, and they refuse to get it, and they don't want to believe that there are people out there that have their best interests at heart. And when you try to show them that you're doing something from your heart, they think you have some sort of ulterior motive, or you're trying to, you must be trying to create an image or scam or some kind of crap, and you're just doing what you're supposed to do. And we don't need a pat on the back for doing the right thing either. People act like they got to get attaboy because you did the right thing. That's what you're just supposed to do. That's it, period. There is no reward. Doing good is its own reward, because you're combating the ever-growing darkness on this plane of existence. That's my soapbox.
There you go, brother.
Well,
so, Betty, I just want to say before I
y'all.
get out of here, a lot of people have been asking about Linda Godfrey. I'm going to talk to Linda tomorrow and tell her about the conference. I've had 3 grandkids ever since we got home, so I'm just now getting free. But everybody keep Linda in your prayers. She's up in Wisconsin. She's battling several illnesses, so she needs your prayers. Please pray for her. And
good friend of ours.
She would have been there. I talked to her. She said, Bart, I really wish I could go. And, but she was there in spirit. She was, but she was just not able physically to make it there, or she would have been there.
That's why me and Ken did, Ken put it together, but we had talked about the tribute at the beginning. It had to be, we had to talk about Linda, because none of us would be here without Linda. She was the first one I corresponded with. And
wow, me too, 15 years ago. Her and Mary Green, the late Mary Green, just came to me and they treated me like they were my mothers, right, online, because I didn't know anything about online. I thought the Big Book community was one big group of people working together to try to get to the truth, but I couldn't have been more wrong. It's some kind of circus with people trying to get more time on TV or more views on their shows. It's not about the truth at all. It's about the attention that they can bring themselves, and that's completely wrong. It's all about bringing the truth out and letting people know what's really going on, for me.
If we call these people out, like Bettina said, they need to be put on blast, because if you call these people out and their janky, ratchety selves, and we point out what they're doing, I really just think that they ain't gonna be able to do it, because you're gonna have to act accordingly, because people are gonna point you out, and you're not gonna get away with it. The reason it's so rampant is because nobody wants to face it. They're all like duck their heads down. Well, I don't like drama. I don't want to be involved in drama. Well, if we don't stand together and say, hey, knock it off, then we're all going to fall down together.
Was it Ben Franklin said, if we don't all hang together, we'll most certainly hang separately?
Hang separately, yeah.
And together we're stronger, together we can support each other and defend each other. And I've always defended my friends online. You can go back to 2005 and, anybody that give my friends grief, I was the first one to get in there and say, hey, shut up, don't do that on my page or whatever. But if we stand together, we can make a real change. So let's do that, and let's let the PRT family grow. There's a lot of people that are noticing you now, Josh. You're like legendary now. So we'll grow the family and all stand together and take care of each other and have each other's back. And we can actually change the entire paranormal field, where it's something that people can believe in instead of ridicule.
Yep. We are our own best support, and if we don't stand for each other, then who else is going to do it? We can't let this stuff keep getting. People get away with it. People are.
That's why they do it, because they get away with it. They're not getting smacked like they should be.
Yep.
And I don't mean literally smack, because you can't. They're behind a keyboard, but like put them on blast and be like, look, you're not going to get away with this. Like I said, Ron, he stuck up for me, and everybody else who's spoken up and, Bass and Truth, and Barton, Bettina, DA, all you guys. I appreciate the support, and y'all know the truth. Y'all
Happy
know
to
that
do it.
people can say what they want, but
Exactly.
the truth always comes
Amazing.
out.
Can I add that one individual that had a great dogman story from when he was younger was Mr. Don Johnson, and he was there at the conference.
Mhm.
Da, you hopped in on his live stream.
Yep,
He
sure
had
did.
one of these things looking in his window,
Yeah, and
like when he
you
was
could see
younger.
the physical effect on him. He was
Yeah,
reliving a nightmare when he was telling that story.
Well, it's been a great discussion tonight, guys. I know everybody's got to get up and work tomorrow, so I love all you guys. I feel like you're
Shit,
all
I
my
gotta go to work
family.
tonight.
Bass, Truth, Betty, Da, Ron, everyone. You know, it's just blessing to me to have so many brothers now. It's just, I never would have dreamed
Absolutely.
this, you know, a
Brothers
week
and
ago.
sisters, yeah.
Brothers and sisters,
man.
right?
I
So
need
I
some
love
of
all
those
you guys, and I
scrappers
hope you have a
guys.
great night, okay? And thanks for all the support and the love you show me in the chat. Love all you guys.
Yeah.
Love
You too,
Love
bud.
you too.
We're family, brother.
I need some of those Kentucky crappie, man.
Yeah, just come on up. I'll put you right on them, Bass. We'll have a great time, brother.
I got you.
Yeah.
You can show me that
Looks like
thing in your
Bettina.
foot.
So, did you want to pick somebody to win for a giveaway? Did you want to do the giveaway, Bettina?
I'm trying to figure. I mean, because there's so many people in there tonight. There was a lot of new people in there tonight. So randomly, I'm gonna choose Janice Blake, and I'm gonna choose Janice Blake because she's a diehard subscriber fan. She's always very, very supportive in the group. She's always there. Um, or we can flip a coin between her or Marquetta Jones. Marquetta is one of my moderators. I really, to be honest, I brought it, already put it out there now and made it a toss up. Flip a coin for Marquetta Jones or Janice Blake.
We'll do both. Go ahead, take it.
There you go.
Oh, because
See there,
Marquetta is
right there.
dynamic. She's
I
a
see, I
great.
see Michael Covert too. He says, I need a book. Give me y'all's information. Send me a friend request on Facebook through messages. Easy way to do it. So I don't got to do the email and all that. And it's just like, because I got tons of the emails just backed up right now and we're going through them. So all three of y'all send me your information and I'll get your stuff out to you.
Yeah, thank you so
There you
much,
go.
Josh. I really appreciate that, and I know that people like that. You got more fans and you got more supporters and subscribers and stuff like that than you do enemies. And at the end of the day, we don't try to focus on any one person or particular. It's easy to dismiss it a lot of times, but when a person becomes a thorn in your side for a year and a half or two, and it gets malicious to the fact when they're doing it to your personal life, just like the attack that Josh got.
Never miss an opportunity. They never, ever miss an opportunity to say something evil or to do something evil. And then for this one guy, Ape Sia, whatever, I'm not going to say his name, Ape, going on there and saying all the crazy stuff and just outright lies. I mean, it was just like saying that we had gone to this place. And I kind of wonder if does he really believe it? Because I mean, that was the thing me and Anthony were talking about earlier. We were like, does he believe this? Like maybe something is wrong up there, and that's maybe I don't know. Maybe
Right.
he's
Well,
got,
Mark Maycheck made a good point. How's it going, Mark? He said he often wonders if these people don't use some type of hypnotic deal,
their listeners?
subliminal on their listeners, right?
Yeah.
So
Who the hell
it could be
knows?
possible. People are acting fools for no reason.
Yeah.
So
It's
do me a
just
favor,
crazy.
guys. The ones that won, Marquetta, Michael, and who was the other one?
Janice Blake.
Y'all send me your Facebook Messenger when I do the mail offs. It'll probably be next week, but I'll get it mailed out to you. And because I do a giveaway I do a giveaway twice a week on my show,
Thank you so
and I'll
much
mail
for
your
that.
stuff out. Give me your shirt size, and I'll send if I have it, I'll give you a Dogman Conference shirt. And I'll send you an autographed book from one of the authors.
Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I will let Marquetta. I don't know if she's probably still not in there anymore. But
Marquetta's right there. She's like, yes, he really believes it.
Marquetta,
he really believes it. Yeah, there she goes. She's putting right there. Thank you.
Marquetta's a vampire. She don't ever go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm going to say good night, y'all.
At that conference, nobody wanted that smoke, man.
Yeah.
If you were Hot Pocket and you see how many people were there, you shut up.
Right.
You didn't want that smoke. You didn't want that smoke.
You better tell them, Bass. Get them. All right,
All
y'all.
right.
With that being said, y'all
Good night,
have a good
DA,
night.
Barton.
Good night. Good night,
Baz,
Good
everybody.
night, everyone.
Most of all, Bettina, thank you for having me on.
Meeting
Rock.
Thank you,
every one
Josh.
of you
Thank you,
guys.
DA, Bass, and Barton for joining us tonight. We had to get that under wraps and get that addressed. Damage control is important in this too. So
It is.
tonight was damage control.
Yeah.
So
All right.
with that
You're
being
welcome,
said,
Betty. Y'all have a good evening, okay? And if
All right,
you
love you
guys want me to
guys.
be on your shows to support you, just give me a request and I'll do all I can.
All right, we will.
Bass, I have never watched your show, but if you make sure I get a link and I'll come on sometime. DA,
Me too.
I'm
Bass.
supposed to be
Let
on
me
your
know.
show for the longest time, and we'll make that happen. So I'll support you guys and help you guys any way I can.
Appreciate you, brother.
Barton,
Thank
if
you
you
so
come on,
much.
we're talking fishing. Nothing
Oh,
else.
guys,
We're
look,
talking
guys.
Okay, well I can do that
Phil Stern
all
said
night.
he just saw 15 dogmen in the hedge in the garden just now. 15 dogmen, dude.
I'll be
He's going
damned.
to circle them in red.
There you
So
go.
make sure you got your red pen, Phil, and put it on the Paranormal Roundtable group so everyone could witness that.
Wait,
You're
I
doing
think I
too
just
much.
seen one in my bedroom. Hold on.
You saw some too?
Maybe. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Let me. Is anything behind me?
Letitia
I'm gonna
says good
circle the
night
ones
to
behind me,
everyone.
too.
Good
All right, I'll
night.
see
I'm
you
gonna go
guys. Good
too.
night.
Good night, guys.
Good
Bye.
night. Great show.
I'll see you.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.
I'll turn this camera off. And with that being said, real quick, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead. Everybody's about to leave the studio. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down. And basically, guys, I just want to thank you all for coming and viewing the show tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm going to close this out with a little song for you guys. And with that being said, love you guys. Thank you. Have a good night. And until the next show, those of you that want to hear Martin Grove's encounter, then you will check out Josh's show on next Tuesday at 8 Central. Thank you guys. Love y'all much. Have a good night.